this horrible year never end?
We've never lost a year before, and I'll be damned if we're gonna lose one on my shift.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Worst episode ever.
Hey everybody, welcome to Worst Episode Ever, a podcast for people who love The Simpsons, by people who love The Simpsons, about how much we hate The Simpsons. We are here trying to find which is the worst episode ever. And as always, my name is Dan.
And as always, my name is Jack. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I actually don't know, Jack, when this episode's going to come out, because we missed the day it was supposed to come out. It was supposed to come out the 29th, and it didn't.
Yesterday.
Which is yesterday when we're recording this. We're recording this on the 30th,
It'll
the day
be
before
out.
New Year's Eve.
It'll be out when it's out.
When it's out. So hopefully you're hearing this and enjoying it. Maybe it's 2016. Maybe it's 2017. I don't know.
11 people. Well, 10 people. 9, 11.
Back to 11.
11 people are watching it live right now. So
It's true. So thank you, live people.
We're on Periscope.
We're periscoping live right now. This is our New Year's episode. We've been drinking already. We're going to continue to drink while we record this episode. Just a smidge. Just a couple of drinks between friends. You don't have to go telling everybody about it.
my bad.
God.
We do call this our annual drunken episode. This is Bourbon Please 3.
Yes, Bourbon
This
Please
is
3.
BP3.
Yet to get a title. If you guys are listening to this as a podcast, you already know the title, but we do not. That's part of the fun of the podcast, Jack. What's the title going to be? I don't know.
That's why they tune in.
That's why they tune in. How do they get to that title?
Yeah, it's our
so
third,
many people
it's
ask.
our third one. We get drunk for New Year's and we
Yeah.
try to talk about the episode. And every year we've had Geoff Wolyniec with us.
Yes, and today, no different.
We
No
have
different. We
Jeff.
got Jeff Wolyniec.
How's it
Jeff, how
going,
you
Jeff?
doing?
Hey guys, how are you?
Friend of We Studios, Jeff. It's been a while since
Jeff,
you've been
lean
on
into
here.
the fucking microphone.
I can't even see the microphone.
Jeff's wearing decorative New Year's glasses and cannot even see what
He
he's doing.
can't see the microphone.
But guys, we got a special surprise in store for you. It's not really a surprise because you probably already know this because it's in the metadata
It's
for
not
the
that
episode.
special because he's been on 3
And
episodes
it's not
already.
that special, but we have another guest. Nick Noga is also here in studio. How you doing, Nick? All right. Very good. Nick,
I feel like I'm not
Year.
going to do it because I'm busy and I'm lazy and I'm tired and I'm depressed.
Yeah.
But somebody should do a supercut of all the times we introduce Nick on all of our different podcasts because I'm pretty sure it would sound something like, hi.
Well, it's because I've been
That's
sitting
accurate.
here for like 2 hours with you. Saying hi is weird.
At least 24 minutes.
That's broadcasting. You want to be famous, don't you?
No.
we took about 20 minutes to get this episode started, but you
Right.
guys didn't have to suffer through that. Our Periscope viewers did.
God bless you guys.
That's
God bless
fine.
them.
Guys,
Our
happy
fans are the
2016.
best.
Happy 2017. Happy New
I was going to
Year.
do this at the end of the episode. We're going to forget. I want to thank our listeners, especially after last
There you
week's
go.
90th percentile where we,
Where we
berated
insulted you.
them and insulted them and
Yeah.
called them horrible names for the entire hour.
By the way, if you haven't listened to 90s Percentile yet, that's a perfect episode to start with. We'll insult you for 10 minutes and then maybe talk about Hanson for 5 seconds. So enjoy that.
But thank you guys. We pushed really hard for you guys to use Amazon because it pays for our bills, and you came through.
Yeah, we did very well with Amazon this year, and that's all because of you guys. So thank you so much. That keeps the podcast slightly more than a hobby for us.
Yeah,
We can pay for our costs,
We
which
do
is
all
nice.
right for ourselves, listenership wise.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of mind blowing that we have any fans. It's,
Yeah, absolutely.
We're just two dumb idiots who have a bunch of dumber idiots listening to us.
It's very true. And these dumber idiots who are guests on the show, what idiots? They're so they're wearing stupid hats.
Jeff drove here. There's a $16 toll. Nick
Yeah,
came from
really.
Williamsburg. That's no easy trip.
It's not easy. Not to get to
We're
We
all
Studios.
idiots. So thank you guys. We love you, and especially those of you watching us live right now.
But
Look at you guys.
especially Bart. So we have done things a little bit differently tonight. We usually take a break and watch the episode. We've already watched the episode.
Yeah, I think what we'll do is I will cut a little intro clip into the show into the audio version of this episode.
Well, we'll take a small break, but we're not going to stop and watch the
Right.
episode. We're going to take a break so that you can put in a little audio
Yeah,
from the episode.
and we'll drink a little bit more, and
We'll
then
drink a little bit more.
talk about the
And then we'll
show,
get into
and then
the
we're
app.
going to play a special game at the end of the episode that
That's
has
exciting.
become a New Year's tradition.
What a tease.
The game is called Wheel of Fortune. No, it's not.
No, oh man, I would like to buy a vowel.
You can't because that's not the game.
All right, you've tricked me again. Guys, the episode that we're going to be doing today is called The Girl Code from season 27, originally aired January 3rd, 2016. Jack, have you seen that one?
Well, I just watched it like an hour ago.
Yeah, we watched it an hour ago. I watched
But
it
I'd
as
never
well.
seen it before that. It's season 27. It's very
it's
recent.
it's last year. I mean, it aired basically 2 years ago. One year ago.
No, yeah, because we covered
it was
the
January
season premiere.
Yeah, January 3rd, 2016, which it almost is January 3rd,
We
2017.
were already doing
So-
90% at that point.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think we had launched 90%. It doesn't matter.
it doesn't
None of
matter.
this is not important. Guys, we watched The Girl Code. If you have not watched The Girl Code yet, you can do that on simpsonsworld.com, or you can maybe buy it somewhere. I don't know. You figure it out on yourselves, you dumb idiots. But we already watched it. We're going to take a break in a moment, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it with our two guests, and we're drunk, so we're going to have wacky fun times. Who knows what characters will be born tonight, guys.
Should we do our shot now, or should we do our shot when we come back from the cliff?
We can do a shot now if we're doing
Okay,
that.
because that's also, if we didn't mention it, the Bourbon Please tradition.
Sure. Although we're not actually drinking bourbon tonight. We had some
we're gonna-
rum earlier.
We had some rum. We've got.
Do you
some,
have
what are you
bourbon?
drinking?
I'm drinking a beer right now.
What kind?
I'm drinking. Oh, I see what you're doing. I'm drinking a Brooklyn Pilsner.
I'm drinking. You'll see.
we're
Later.
in
I'm
Brooklyn.
drinking a Bronx brewery. Nick's got a Bud Light. What do you got? Pilsner. Jess got
Yeah,
Pilsner.
Pilsner.
But we're going to be doing
Nice.
shots of bourbon.
Yeah.
We're going to do a shot of bourbon. So it is bourbon.
Oh, we're
Please.
going to do a shot of bourbon right now.
Except
You
for
already
Nick.
have it ready. It's on that little table right behind you.
You know what this podcast would be like if I wasn't here? It would.
It would be me
It would
talking
be-
to myself.
It would be all free, but it would be like literally into an empty can
I think
connected
everyone would
to.
love that podcast. Hey guys, Freet saying Happy New Year.
You'd be the kid from Wet Hot American Summer who's just talking into the broken radio equipment.
Not taking a shower.
Not taking a shower.
It's a nice pour.
All right, so shall we? I think a traditional toast to evil would be in great
to
taste.
evil.
To the president?
Hold on.
Yeah, I mean it's essentially a toast to 2017. We don't want to get political, but we're all fucked.
Cheers.
Cheers
Salute to our listeners.
To evil.
Those dumb idiots.
to
What?
our listeners, to evil. Oh boy, oh boy. All right, guys, we're gonna take a short fake break, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about the Girl Code.
Oh, I just chased bourbon with Rob. Throw up.
Yeah, that's not a good move. All right, guys,
Throw up on your mic.
we're gonna take that break.
It'll give me cancer.
That would be a great thing to highlight your show. This is the one where he throws up on the mic.
It'll be the next chocolate rain. Jack Picone vomits on his microphone. 1 billion hits.
All right, put that break in now.
Look what we got here. One Silicon Sally in a room full of dongle donkeys.
I just want to learn coding.
You think I'm going to give you special treatment just because you ride a pink bike? Well, I am. Hit the front row, sister.
Someone send me their notes!
Uno, dos, tres, catorce. Hello.
Hold on.
Gonna cover some Simpsons, oh.
Gonna cover some Simpsons, though.
That was the original theme song to our podcast.
Oh my god, you're right. How could I forget? We had Bono in here recording it himself. You know,
Go. Dolodito solo.
that was a pretty good Salacious Crumb.
My favorite's the fat guy with no shirt on who cries when the Rancor dies. Oh, no.
He's great.
Let's just talk about Rogue One instead of talking about The Simpsons.
So that was the Girl Code,
It sure was, Jack.
season 27. Now, I think we should say, before we do a quick recap of the plot, a recap,
A recap.
if you would.
A
By the way,
patented
did you know
recap.
we call ourselves We Studios?
You've told me before.
Yeah, guest Nick Noga. He was on our very 5th show.
It's true.
Our,
and our very sixth.
our very fifth.
Very 5th. You gave us the equipment for our very first show.
It's true.
You've been with us since the beginning. Haven't listened to a single episode. Don't know the name of the studio.
Not even the episodes you're on, I'm assuming.
Because
you
you're just
haven't listened
people I know. I don't listen to shit.
But you don't know all these
Fair enough.
voices and characters Dan
That's true.
does.
Do you mean the people outside at the bus stop?
Yeah, that too. Well, anyway, so before we do the recap, we is short for worst episode ever.
It's true.
We're worst episode ever studios.
I figured that out.
WePodcast.com, WePodcast.com. I want to know what Geoff thinks, because Geoff actually
God.
didn't watch the episode. He saw the last 30 seconds where there was some Greek dancing.
I think I saw the last 8 seconds.
Yeah, Jeff literally saw the last
Get it right,
shot.
Jack.
Jeff, I would love to know
pay the price.
if you could guess how this episode started.
Tell us what you think this
What do you
episode
think
was
this
about.
episode's about?
What was the Girl Code
I'll tell you,
about?
it's called the Girl Code. If that hint is a hint at anything.
Hint, Lisa A plot, Homer B plot.
Sort of. I take some issue with that, actually, but But
I
Geoff,
have,
You have much to
zero
discuss.
clue.
what did you actually see,
I
Geoff?
was drawn to Homer's giant fake mustache. I had no idea what the hell that was about. And
Yeah,
it pretty much
that's
took
fair.
over for me.
Did
and
we
that's
ever
the only thing I
confirm
can
whether it
recall.
was
And the
fake?
Greek music.
We never
remember the
confirmed it
Greek
was fake.
music.
He did have a mustache,
Yeah.
but we don't know if it was real or not.
I'm
It looks
assuming
fake.
it's fake.
It would be a very quick grow of a mustache.
It's
Although
not. It's
Homer
not
always has
Jack's
stubble.
forearms.
That's very true.
Like the Santa Claus.
Oh, and I saw
frighteningly real.
the dancing scene at the end, which I had no idea what that was.
Yeah. So, if you had to guess, what is this episode about? If you really have to,
What's the girl code?
you do have to guess.
What's the code?
I have to?
What's
You
the
have
code?
to.
What's the code? What's the girl code?
What's the code, man?
This is unfair.
We really are ganging up on Geoff.
Dan, why don't you tell us what this episode is about?
This is an episode where Homer invites well, it doesn't invite Marge, but Marge comes to the power plant with Homer and then posts on social media, and then somehow that turns into Homer working at a Greek restaurant, becoming Greek himself, and just loving being Greek. Meanwhile, Lisa creates artificial intelligence in the form of Stephen Merchant. That's what
So
this
has
episode
the
was
show
about.
become the Simpsonopolises?
That was
I
the
don't know what
shortest
this-
recap ever. I've been doing it wrong.
I mean, are you still going to do a recap? Was that the recap?
I thought it was. You want me
Oh,
to do
all right.
one?
No.
I could do a more in-depth one.
No, I guess we'll talk about it every scene, but that's basically what happens. Lisa learns to code, and she creates an
She
AI.
meets a.
She meets another guest star, Caitlin Olsen from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Who's she on Curb Your Enthusiasm?
She's Cheryl's sister on Curb Your
I
Enthusiasm.
never remembered
Really?
that.
She is.
Did the
She's
did
also
the
in
conversion
the-
wedding?
She's in The Riches.
She was in The Riches.
She had one arm.
I watched one episode of The Riches.
Good show. The daughter from it is
On Westworld.
On Westworld. She's gonna star in a new FX show too. Caitlin Olsen.
Called the Mick.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes.
Mick.
The Mick.
That sounds racist.
It
It
looks
is a little
absolutely
bit
horrible.
racist.
Her name is Mick or something like that.
Yeah, there you go. And we're getting Periscope viewers who are telling us she's in a new show called The Mick. Yes, she
She's
was
gonna
on
be
this
in
episode.
Minecraft the movie as a creeper because her husband is directing Minecraft the movie.
Rob McElhaney is directing Minecraft the
It's
movie.
Always Sunny's Mac is directing. You'd think
Ronald
usually,
McDonald.
Usually,
Okay, I'm sorry. How is there a Minecraft movie?
Yeah, I hadn't
because
heard
it's
about
a very
this.
popular product with
Yeah, that's
12-year-olds,
great,
so they're
but
going to
it's
make
not
a
a
movie to
popular
make a lot of
movie
money.
I know about the Emoji Movie, and I give it one poop emoji.
I can't believe that's real.
Yeah.
I can't believe that's real.
It's a real thing.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
That's really happening
That's
in
funny.
Trump's
That's
America.
worse than Nick had this amazing idea. He wanted to do a Pixar type movie. Can we talk about this or no?
Yeah, but I forgot what it was.
Phones.
Oh yeah, phones.
It's just called Phones.
Just gonna be a bunch of flip phones going like, hello.
I came up with the
Do they
Italian.
float or do they like kind of waddle?
Who gives a shit?
it doesn't matter. None of
No,
this
I
matters.
came up
That's the
with
correct
the funny Danny DeVito playing Italian phone character Tone.
Yeah, right.
That's me, Tone.
You make a tone look?
It prints money. It prints money.
Wow.
It's a great idea.
And like the old phone, like the old man, the grandpa has a rotary
The
phone.
old folks' phone.
When the Razor
No, that
phone
doesn't
is
make any sense.
anorexic.
Oh boy. Oh boy. All right.
And the fucking iPad has the guy with Down syndrome.
Let's
the Elephant Man. Oh man, there could be a cracked phone, and it would just be somebody with some horrible disfigurement. I want to see Phones, the movie.
It was your idea.
I know, but it keeps getting better every time we talk about it.
I
Hey,
think
Fitz,
this is
talk
all
about
about the
It's like an
episode.
80s Zach Morris phone.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a long episode, is it?
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a long episode. All right, let's jump into the girl code. Should we do that?
Sure.
All right.
What?
The girl code, the episode.
No couch gag.
No intro at all. This episode, it just starts The
like-
Simpsons.
It's
and
just
then
like
it starts.
it's just like here. It's not like us where we literally had a 35-minute intro before we started talking about the show.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we've never seen that. I don't know if they do that often.
We've seen it.
We have?
We've seen it on the show. We've seen it in season 1 with Bart the General. Although that
I
was
don't
different.
think that's true. Maybe Bart
I
General.
think we've seen it once before. Where
All
there's
right.
You're right. There wasn't even the clouds. The Simpsons.
No, there was
nothing.
that. There was
Oh,
that.
oh.
There was that.
Oh, then we definitely seen it before.
But there was no couch gag, or now
All right,
they do the billboard gag.
we've
None
seen
of that.
it. We've seen it a couple times.
Interesting. Okay.
Billboard
Well,
gags.
yeah. They have two couch gag type things.
like
where they do a
Futurama.
billboard, and they also have like a guy or a gal who goes by in the clouds and usually says something funny or something. Funny in quotes.
I think I've seen that. That's
Usually, to be honest, you're saying
stupid.
funny in quotes. It's usually one of the wittier parts of the show.
That's true. That's very true. I think they put more effort
I've only seen
into
it as
that
Mo.
than they put into the rest of the episode.
Oh, so Wait. Okay, never mind.
So Homer forgets his lunch at home. That's how this episode starts. Not where this episode ends.
Does it start with Homer forgetting his lunch, or does it start with Marge?
Marge
Marge is
realizes
at
it.
home and realizes Homer forgot his lunch, and she has this elaborate fantasy that's actually pretty funny. Of Homer, he's working at the power plant, and he has skipped lunch because he forgot it at home, and he falls into a vat of acid of toxic waste.
Due to fatigue, I guess.
Due to fatigue, because he didn't have the energy for the second half of the day.
Nick has disproved,
That's true. Nick has been fasting for days.
and he didn't pass.
He hasn't fallen into
the
toxic waste.
Wii Studios vat of acid.
Which is right behind him, so he should be very careful.
I don't think he's passed anything.
Don't lean back.
We had
guys.
a recent guest, Jack Napier, who fell into that vat of acid.
Yeah,
we didn't
he
release
did.
the episode because
No,
of the
we
horrors
felt really
involved.
bad, and he looked alright. I saw like a white hand with.
I saw
green-
one hand rise up, and then I never saw a body. I don't know.
He'll be fine.
He'll probably be okay. But anyway, Marge has this fantasy, and I actually thought it was pretty funny. Homer falling into the vat of acid. His body dissolves, and then the sarcastic man picks up his stomach and is like, "There's no food in his stomach."
Sarcastic man.
It went on a little bit long.
I call him Charles Bronson.
Charles Bronson man.
He's
Okay.
never worked at the nuclear power plant
Okay.
before. I don't think he belonged there.
Jackie's worked
I
everywhere.
don't think he belongs there. His whole thing is he has different odd jobs. He shouldn't have a specific.
If he's got different odd jobs, like any work at the power plant.
It should be odd jobs we don't see before. If
Is
you're
he
going
the
to
Garbage Island guy too?
No, that's Garbage Island.
He
He's,
looks the same.
He's physically maybe, but his voice is Hank Azaria. He does Charles Bronson. He does.
Right.
I'm looking for a cup.
Yeah,
Can you spell it?
Can you spell that?
Oh, you don't like the
CUP.
old time bikes.
Yep, that's
Spraying for potato bugs.
This one writes mysteries under the name J.D. McGregor.
Mr. Simpson, if you do not open the door, I cannot give you your special delivery.
Hey Ma, how about some cookies? And as Fisher Michael said,
No dice.
This ain't over.
Ain't over. So yeah, that was a decent scene, and then
yeah.
Hey buddy, I got a movie
Betty,
for
yeah.
you. A fridge too far. Give us more.
So Marge comes to the power plant and brings Homer his lunch, and it becomes a thing where Homer doesn't want her at the power plant. It was a little forced, where he's just like, "Oh, it's in the Constitution that a wife should never visit his husband at lunch."
I don't know if I love Marge as the endearing housewife who takes things too far, and I loved how she was freaking out that she forgot lunch. She thinks
Yeah,
Homer's
that was
dying,
funny. I
and
liked
she's
it.
like running red lights, and she's trying to get to work. And that's Marge. We've seen that before. It totally fits her character.
Yep.
Am I wrong? Am I just getting too sensitive? I felt there was part of me like this is too much. This is like, oh, the woman's got to get her man her sandwich. Am I being a social justice warrior?
Well, yes,
little bit.
because Marge is that way. That's not a betrayal of who she is. She's
Why-
old
then Why was I a
fashioned.
little
I would say,
uncomfortable?
yeah, I would say that is Marge's character, to be very much a homemaker, and she would be physically upset if the lunch that I am assuming she made for Homer.
I feel like there was a
he didn't have
line
it.
being crossed, and even like, what was it? When's Homer Alone? Is it
Season
Homer?
3.
Is that the one where she freaks out and she stops in the middle of the road?
Yep.
Even that was like where they acknowledged they were taking too far, and it has its toll on her, and she needed a
Right,
break.
and they dialed it back, and
I feel like that didn't have that. This didn't have that grounding. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm probably being too sensitive, but
I didn't
part
get
of me
that
was I
feeling.
had a natural gut instinct to be like, this is a little uncomfortable.
I didn't get that feeling, but since you're bringing up social justice warrior type things,
Which I don't think should have a negative connotation.
I completely agree
What's
with
wrong
you.
with social justice?
Social justice is a good thing.
And what's wrong
Stupid.
with
Be quiet,
fighting
Jeff.
for it?
Stupid.
Be quiet, Jeff. But
Justice
I did
is justice.
think
It doesn't need a
I did think that this episode really
say so, hot dog,
hammered,
yes.
hammered home. So Caitlin Olsen's character, I don't even know if she had a name. If
Well,
she
we're
did,
gonna
I
get
don't
into
know
this
it.
because I had a huge problem with all that.
She comes into the episode being strongly feminist, but in a way that
was
very
written by white men.
grating and strange.
Yes, it
yeah,
was
yeah.
Clearly written by white men. I don't know who wrote this episode. Was it a woman?
It was Rob Lezebnik
He was a
who
white
wrote this
man.
episode.
Yeah, okay.
it was. Well, I assume he's white. I don't know. I don't know what Rob. I don't.
Rob
I don't
could be
see
a
race.
woman.
We don't see race.
I don't see race. Rob
Because-
could be a
Crossing
woman.
over into social justice warriors.
Yeah, why does Rob have to be a man?
But there
It's
was
short for Robert, which is
Because he has a
man's
dick?
Guys, here's what I want to say about this episode. Homer is cleaning
There was
up.
an episode?
Homer is cleaning up before Marge comes to the power plant, and he says, "I got to put this poster away." And we're supposed to think it's a sexy poster that he's putting away, but then we see it, and it is a poster of Senator Elizabeth Warren. What did you guys think about that? Oh, you didn't even see
Oh,
it.
I thought it was
Jeff.
great. Yeah.
I mean,
Jeff, you're a delight.
What was weird is that it was a photo and not a drawing.
It was a photo of Elizabeth Warren.
And it was like really poorly
It was
animated.
like South Park. It was. It used a live action photo, and it was
Wait, a
politically
live
toothless.
action photo?
Wait, you stopped the my joke.
It was.
Let me do it again.
When did this
Let me
episode
do my
air?
joke.
Hold on. Cut.
It was like South Park. It was live action photo and politically toothless.
It was weird because
Acknowledge the joke.
it's like hardly a
Something.
joke though. It was.
That was a good
strange.
metaphor.
I could see them like trying to like do cut and paste. Who should we put on the poster? Like in their head, and they're like Elizabeth Warren.
I like the idea that Homer. It's not a sexy poster. It's actually a strong female
Doesn't
figure in
fit
real
Homer's
life.
character whatsoever. It's
Doesn't
so
fit Homer's
stupid.
character. The fact that it was a photo
It was
was
dated.
weird.
It was dating itself. That's not my funny voice.
That was a funny
me.
voice.
That's me when I get frustrated. They've
like
seen me
that.
flip over tables.
That's a good
I
funny
have
voice.
seen you flip over tables in anger. Oh boy.
Let's play left, right, center.
Oh boy. But yeah,
Please, it's
Elizabeth
making
Warren.
me
It was
very
odd.
uncomfortable. 7 5/8.
Something I really did like though.
If a pinhead comes, I gotta be on top of it.
I'm trying to actually do the podcast, and
Pinhead comes.
I got to be on top of that.
Who says that?
That's one of my favorite episodes of Seinfeld, the nap.
Oh, hands down. Hands
yeah,
down.
like top 5 for sure.
She's
Top
out.
3 probably.
Heartbreaker,
Clockmaker.
Lovemaker,
What's your big
Shoemaker.
Yeah, no, that's
All
a great
kinds of
episode.
Under everybody under the desk.
Fire in the hole! Because I can do it any way you want. Just
do it.
That's what I want.
Just do it.
guys,
I
something
hated the Warren joke. Hated it.
something I actually did like was when
Hated
Marge
it.
shows up to the power plant. Homer is like, "Well, the plant's not going to inspect itself," and then that triggers the auto inspector that just goes auto inspection beginning. I wouldn't say funny.
I wouldn't say really funny.
It was
I
fun.
laughed.
It doesn't sound
it was a
very
joke.
funny.
Then we see Marge at home. She is looking at photos that she's taken with Homer.
No, we're not looking at her. So,
Oh, we're not there yet?
So Smithers comes up to them and Homer,
Oh,
what are you
yeah.
up to? And Marge starts talking to him about scrapbooking or whatever. I loved your scrapbook. I saw it on Facelook, which is their Cosmic Wars version of Facebook.
Right.
I guess they can't say Facebook because.
To which I wrote in my notes, bleh.
Yeah. I wrote because later with the scene you were talking about, you jumped
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
Was she was looking on Facebook and she
Yep.
like made a funny caption.
Yeah.
I said, "Is the name of the episode Facebook? Huh? Huh?" Because it was so. But then the episode didn't turn out to be about that. But that's what I thought.
No,
it was.
that's what I thought it was going to be about.
Speaking of which, so she talks to Smithers. She goes, "Oh, I really like your scrapbooking." And then Smithers is like, "Oh, thank you. I'll see you later." And he leaves. And Homer and I thought the episode was going to be. Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
I thought the episode
we will
was
get
going
to
to
that.
be Marge, and so Homer starts smiling. He's in the background. It's framed kind of like this, where Smithers and Marge are talking in profile.
Yeah.
Homer is dead center of the frame, looking in the background, and he's smiling, and he likes that they're talking. And I thought he was happy Marge had finally found a friend, and then I was like, this makes up for the awful housewife stuff in the first minute of the show because they were setting up. She's lonely. She has no friends. She has no female friends.
You thought it was going to be a Marge episode, basically.
A Marge Smithers friendship. Oh, they make perfect friends, and I was like, that's great. That's genius.
That is
they
great.
Would make
I
perfect
would
friends.
love to see that episode.
And then
not what we get.
It just never came up again.
Right.
And then
Homer-
I thought later that they were like, oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe it is the episode because Smithers starts laughing at one of her Facebook posts.
Right.
And then that goes nowhere.
Yeah, that totally goes nowhere. That's just a joke with Mr. Burns.
Do a
that
Marge
just ends.
Smithers friendship episode.
I was under the assumption that this episode was going to be about like Marge. Once I saw these scenes and Marge posting photos to Facebook, I was like, oh, this is going to be an episode where Marge gets addicted to Facebook, or
Facebook,
learns, or
That was-
learns about the repercussions of using too much Facebook, or maybe she becomes friends with Smithers or something like that. Instead, it's about Homer working in a Greek restaurant, which is not quite what I
How
thought
did
it
they
would be.
introduce that?
We will get to the
We'll
Greek
get to
restaurant.
that. We'll get to that.
Two things based on our Periscope comments.
Why?
One, what do you mean they just did that 2 weeks ago? Did what? A Marge Smithers episode? And two, somebody brought up.
Somebody brought up Spring Face, which I guess is a different Facebook
So they can't
analog
even
they've
do.
done.
They can't even be consistent with
So
their Facebook
They
parodies.
can't even just keep.
So
one
they've done a
Facebook parody.
Smithers Marge episode.
Yeah, he was the Smithers Marge episode.
That's crazy.
Well, I would like to watch that
Yeah.
one. Maybe we'll do that one
All
soon.
right. Okay.
There was a decent gag where they say something about Homer and Marge.
Somebody just commented, he dropped his phone.
You stupid.
Which is one of my top 5, maybe, favorite Simpsons jokes of all time.
in with the
He
nucleus.
dropped his notes.
Isn't this funny? He drops his notes. It's
I
really
do that
funny.
to you at trivia all the
You
time.
do.
Anytime you make any mistake, he dropped his notes.
It's true, you do. By the way,
Dan doesn't appreciate.
this coming Thursday, January 6th or whatever it is, Simpsons trivia. I'll plug it at the end. Don't cut me out of the frame. I am here. There's a funny bit where Homer and Marge,
In with the nucleus.
where Homer and Marge are going to meet at the. You're making it so much more difficult to edit this episode.
I'm not editing it. It's all going out.
It's gonna be our longest episode by like a lot.
All right, fine.
No,
So
no.
what? Fuck them.
There's a funny bit where
Stupid
Homer and
idiots.
Marge are going to meet by the eye wash station, which Homer says they've turned into a frozen yogurt
That's right.
station.
Yes.
And then we cut to Lenny and Carl there, and Carl asks Lenny, "Do you want saline, chocolate?" And Lenny wants a swirl of saline and chocolate. What did you guys think of that? I thought it was funny.
I thought it would have been funnier if they just cut it right before he answers.
Yes.
So you don't actually see him eating it.
Yeah, because I was just like, come on, we don't need
You don't
to
need-
see
yeah,
it.
you're right.
Be
Although
grossed out
the
by...
physical act of him eating saline flavored ice cream, it was okay.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
It was a funny idea. I
You
thought.
guys were
doesn't-
like, "Oh, this isn't actually a bad episode." I really was not. I didn't enjoy this episode one bit.
I think the first act of this episode isn't bad.
Jeff's has
But
something
if he
to say.
actually eats the ice cream, isn't that the same joke as asking the question?
Yeah, you're right. It's a repeating the joke.
Well, yeah. I think
Immediately
that's,
after
I think
the
that's
joke.
Nick's point. Is why
Right.
you didn't need to
No,
see
no,
the
I'm
eating.
agreeing with you.
Oh, I see. We're all in agreement.
There was just
it
something.
was too much.
There,
Well, except
there-
for Jack. Jack said he...
there was something about physically seeing it that tickled my fancy, but it was not necessary. No.
Right. Did you have anything more? There's a bit where Marge is looking through all the photos she took with Homer, and she posts one of Homer having an ice cream cone where it's melting, and she posts meltdown at the nuclear plant, and that's gonna vaguely play into the plot later. It doesn't play into the plot nearly as much as I thought it would.
Does it play into the plot? Oh, with the
It's
comments.
just there's just
Yeah,
the
yeah,
one
yeah,
scene
yeah.
with her and Mr. Burns and Smithers. But that's really it.
Correct.
And I guess it provides the impetus for Lisa to create Conrad.
I'm gonna
But
say this.
okay. Jeff has no idea.
I know.
keep
we're-
forgetting
I know
Jeff did not
I-
watch the episode.
I know I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yes.
I want to just. The next scene we're gonna talk about is introducing Caitlin Olsen's character.
Correct.
I want to get all of that out of the way and save
do it.
all of the Greek stuff for the end.
All right, let's do it.
Can we save the Greek stuff for the end?
You want to just do the whole Lisa
it's
plot now?
completely separated.
Yeah. All right.
So they
yeah.
introduce Caitlin Olsen's character. Skinner
Right,
said
she-
there's a computer coding class, and he goes, "We have a new teacher, and she's a young, punky." That's the Heat. That's the Brooklyn pre-war Heat.
I don't think they can even hear it on the podcast. But
She's like this young punk. Is a punk goth? I don't know, with the piercings and the dyed hair.
yeah, she's like a
Alts.
punker. I
And she
would
comes
say.
in really intense, and she starts insulting everybody. She's like, "I'm here. I'm intense." And I literally, this is what I wrote: Poochie.
I wrote, "Hey, it's Caitlin Olsen."
I like Caitlin Olsen.
I love Caitlin Olsen. She's terrific.
But the character was so flat and terrible, and it really did feel like white guys trying to write,
That's
"Ooh, this is a
Caitlin Olsen."
feminist woman."
Yeah, no, this was a very one-note character, and that note was: men are terrible, women are great.
That's 2
computers plus.
That's
Plus
3.
plus.
Yeah.
I didn't get the
Oh,
men
if that was 3, that's a fully fleshed out character then, and I
And
rescind
this
my
is
comments.
this entire plot is a commentary on there's a gender gap in everything.
There's a gender gap in pretty much every
but
industry, especially in computer
especially
science and
by-
engineering.
Yeah, what was it? STEM?
STEM, yeah.
Yeah,
the
but
STEM.
there's not a lot of female computer coders and
Right.
So that's what this was a comment on. It's all guys. It's actually the return of the Super Friends from the Bart's Comet.
Yes, we see
a lot of
database
the,
and report card
I mean,
and
we've seen
email.
database, but the ham and email and
Right,
report card. We haven't
cosign.
seen them in a while. Cosign, except Lisa. Lisa's the only, and then
Sure.
she becomes a pet of Caitlin Olsen's character because girl power.
Right. Well, there's a great bit where she kicks Milhouse out of the room by just like kicking his desk, and he slides out into the hallway. I thought that was
fun.
funny.
That was fun.
I like that.
And he goes, "Yeah, take my notes."
Right. Yeah. I like that. But
this,
the whole
this
thing,
it was so one noted. It ruined the whole episode for me.
yeah, she was like, "Is there a Silicon Sally among these dongle donkeys?" And it was just,
I was like, well, I
Very
didn't get. I
forced.
just didn't understand why Lisa would like her.
yeah, I agree with
feminist.
you. I mean,
Yeah, but Lisa's not that. she doesn't just gravitate towards anybody that is
Well,
a woman.
I think Lisa respects powerful women, but I think the problem is we never saw her,
she was a
Caitlin
jerk.
Olsen as
She
a
was-
powerful woman. She was just kind of a jerk.
She's
yeah.
a fucking
Yeah.
mouthpiece for this white man's impersonation of what they think feminism is. You know what?
Right.
She almost was like a flatter version of.
Crossing that line again, Jack.
I know. She was a flatter version of
Jane
Darlene,
Mansfield.
Darlene from Roseanne.
Oh, Ruth Powers' daughter.
Ruth Powers' daughter. That was a really cool character, and I remember Lisa connected. Lisa connected with the other babysitter.
Oh, the
yeah,
one
Allison
from
Homer
Sweet
Badman.
Can.
Yeah.
her sweet can.
Yeah.
So I grabbed her. Sweet can.
And
Yeah.
I feel like that connection made a little bit more sense than this because it was a little bit more showy, not telly.
Yes, this is very telly where she just comes in and she's like, I'm a badass female computer scientist. And Lisa's just like, I love that for some reason, even though I've shown no interest in computers
It came on
before
so
this.
strong, it came on so flat.
It did, and the biggest problem with this episode is just there's not enough setup to a lot of things. Like the Greek stuff, which we're going to get into, comes out of nowhere. But this whole plot, I would have liked... the episode is called The Girl Code, obviously implying the whole girl coding thing that comes up, and kind of a hint to the feminism aspect of the episode, but they don't do anything with that. It's just kind of shoehorned in, pop. And it's just kind of, like you say, a mouthpiece for something that it doesn't seem like the writer really understands.
They crammed too much. They crammed too many plots in. Then they had that stupid artificial intelligence thing, and that completely took attention away from the fact that you've got this mean computer girl that Lisa's getting
right.
falling in
this.
with.
That high concept took over the theme of the episode for sure.
Definitely. I'll say I didn't hate this episode, but it's a very, very muddled episode. There's not really one straightforward plot because what would you say the main plot of this episode is?
There wasn't one.
There was
There
none of
isn't
that
one.
in the
The
ending.
AI takes over.
Jeff didn't see any of that from the last
Jeff
5
had something, but he had
frames.
something to say.
There was none of that in the ending.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go. All Jeff saw was Homer as a Greek man.
I was skipping way ahead, but just in part of this theme of this, I don't know, for lack of a better phrase, fake feminism. They show the other coders. Basically, Lisa's going to come up with an app. We'll get into this.
Right.
And she the Caitlin Olsen hires her colleagues to do it, and they're all these punky goth women with dyed hair and piercings. And it's like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? They're every single one of them is like, and they're
Well,
and they're
I don't have a problem with that
in
so
Simpsons
much.
parlance. They're attractive, and it really felt like these nerdy white writers doing manic pixie dream girl kind of shit, where it's just like fantasizing about these nerdy computer girls who are alt and hot.
I didn't get that sense.
I really got that. Like, that was more... If I could take back the social justice warrior stuff about Marge being a housewife, Marge is a housewife. That's what she is. If I can take that back and use my SJW points on this,
Sure.
this I want to hammer home. That was terrible.
Yeah,
That
I mean-
all the coders with these gothy women. Sure, if they're all friends and they're from the same clique, maybe they would be like that, but that's too much depth to give to this.
Just call it forced feminism then.
Forced feminism, yeah.
I mean, I think there's something to the fact that they're all friends, so they're probably all pretty similar.
But that's bad. That's
I
head.
don't
That's
know.
head canon.
It didn't
That's
bother
head
me.
canon.
Were
It's
they all
nepotism.
were they all mean as well? The friends.
No, I mean, the other female coders get zero
Yeah.
anything.
If
They
there's
don't even get
one
lines.
characteristic, they're cold, which again is kind of insulting.
But that's a coder thing.
And then
Yeah.
they break with that whole like I don't know, feminist message when she makes Lisa put on makeup to be a coder.
Well, that's part of the
she
thing
does.
is
So-
that you have to be a gothy
Caitlin Olsen does do up Lisa to be more goth codery.
alt. I guess alt is the right phrase.
And more alt, I suppose, makes more sense. But I don't
Alternative.
know.
It's short for alternative, Jeff.
I understand that.
What's the
I
alt
don't know.
short
Go to
for
the-
on the keyboard? Not
Go to the
alternative.
Burning
It
Angels
is
website.
alternative.
Really? Yeah. Oh, it's an
Yes.
alternative function
Or
of the
alternate.
buttons.
That's exactly
Look at
right.
that,
I think
see?
it's alternate.
Just talk it out.
It's alternate on the keyboard.
It's not alternative. It's alternate.
Alternate's a different word.
Alternative. What's the difference?
Like
There is
about
none.
2 letters.
You need an alternate when you go to debate camp.
IV.
You need an alternative when you go to debate camp.
It's alternate function of the button.
I don't even know what to say to that. I don't even have a response to that. But I didn't have a problem with the female coders. I don't know. I mean,
And then the comic book guy was there.
they did have comic book
token guy.
and they had a line where he's like, "Oh, our token male." I don't know. I didn't hate that, but it was very much like, "Look what we're trying to do." Like we're commenting on gender stereotypes in the Silicon Valley.
Fat, bald comic book guys.
I mean, there
Yeah,
were
I mean,
plenty of computer
it's ridiculous.
programmer stereotypes as well. I mean, why is that any worse or not any less bad?
I feel like this is an episode that could have said something more about the whole
Gender gap in
the gender
coding.
gap in computer science,
then-
and it doesn't. It just kind of pays
And-
lip service to it, and then it goes away.
And by doing a gender gap in coding, you're kind of by proxy talking about gender gap in everything.
Yeah, I mean,
And
there's a big
this
gender
is a
gap
show
everywhere.
that wears its liberal heart on its sleeve. They do gay marriage episode. They did immigrant episode. I don't
Yeah,
know. what
they do
but-
lots of
So I'm fine
issue
with it. I'm fine
episodes.
with them doing gender gap as an issue. That should be something that's actually considered as, it's not quite as
For The Simpsons.
Exactly. It's not quite as easy.
I was being sarcastic.
Yeah, well, it's not quite as easy as an issue as gay marriage. That's such a simple. We're pro gay marriage.
Right.
Gender gap is
There's a
more
lot
nuanced.
more jokes involved in gay marriage,
Well,
though.
yeah, that too. But gender gap is more nuanced, so it's a little bit harder for it to be a quote unquote issue. So I applaud them for trying to do that. They just completely fell flat. I don't think they were even trying to make it an issue. It was almost
they,
like
they paid lip service to it. I think they kind of there was references to feminism.
It was less an issue and more, hey guys, we need 22 ideas this year. What about the gender gap? Yeah, okay. And they used
I don't
that,
think that's the way it started.
And they used that as like
And I didn't even watch the episode.
a hook for to write a mediocre script.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think they were passionate about the cause. Where you can feel that
Well,
in the gay marriage episode.
I'll agree with you on that one, but I feel like they just had Caitlin Olsen, and they were like, let's just make her like strongly like a woman, like she could be really into female empowerment.
That's a great John Swartzwelder, by the way.
That is a supreme
I almost
contrast
feel like
to-
they just
to-
didn't even write it, and they
to
just
Sweet
brought
Tea.
her in and said, "Hey, just riff,
say
a bunch
whatever-
of
just say
say a
whatever
bunch
you
of
want."
stupid shit."
You just do it.
That is
We
complete
trust you.
contrast to her Sweet Tea character or the character on the Mick.
I don't know
So I
about
don't know
the
where
Mick
that's
show we
I
have
don't know.
not seen
I don't
yet.
know about character, but persona-wise, it was the same, like intense, in-your-face, quick talking. She did a great job. The dialogue was what they wrote for was terrible, but she did a great job acting. No,
No,
Well, I didn't laugh, so she didn't do
No,
a good
I'm just
job.
arguing the fact that Caitlin Olsen inspired the narrative of the episode.
no, I don't.
I
Think
mean,
so.
I think all of us agree that
Wasn't
Caitlin
that his
Olsen's
point?
very funny, right?
I
Like,
love
we're all
Always
big
Sunny.
fans of her.
Yeah,
I know. I disagree.
Yeah.
I didn't say I wasn't listening.
Jack, you're a fan of Caitlin Olsen on It's Always Sunny, obviously, right? I mean,
Yeah.
she's
She's-
terrific
she's
as
my
Sweet
least
Tea.
of the
She's the-
characters.
she's-
my
like
least
part of me's
favorite.
wondering why
She's
else
just a
she'd be on
weird
such a
bird
shitty
lady.
episode.
She looks like a bird. Yeah, no, I mean, she's great. She's a phenomenal actress. She's very funny. I think just the character here was crappy. I think they
She's
should have
funny in her
done more
manic
work.
sense.
Look, you could have gotten who's a common genius.
That's my point.
Who's a common genius?
Da-
Elon Musk.
Steve,
What does that mean?
Comic.
Oh, comic
Steve
genius.
Martin, Dana Carvey.
Steve Martin, I would say, is a
You
comic
give him-
genius.
If you give him a mediocre script in a season 27 Simpsons episode, they're not gonna be that funny.
Steve Martin and Dana Carvey kind of still make it work.
Maybe, yeah. You're
Well,
right.
even Stephen
You bit off a
Merchant.
little more
Master
than
of
you could chew
Disguise.
there.
I laughed.
Oh boy. Even Stephen
We're not
Merchant.
turtle enough for the Turtle Club.
Even Stephen Merchant, I would say,
Cut
is
that.
not given a lot of stuff in this episode as Conrad, but he's funny-ish.
Steven
Like
Merchant.
his performance is funny, I think.
Well, let's get up to him.
Yeah.
Before that, one of my favorite jokes was so Burns is looking and Smithers is looking at Marge's Facebook caption, which again, it really has nothing to do with anything. Well,
Yeah,
how does
this
this tie
goes
into
no-
anything?
I didn't
So,
know Marge had
This
a
is just
Facebook.
to get Homer fired, I guess.
Well, no, it's
yeah,
there.
you're right,
it's,
you're right, yeah.
it's there to inspire Lisa to create Conrad.
Well, that has something to do with the finances. When Marge is going over the finances.
What is Conrad?
Conrad.
We're gonna
is
get to
the
that.
app.
We're gonna
Jack,
get
have
to
you
that.
watched this episode or what?
About 8 seconds.
No, because Marge had posted that and it led to Homer losing his job.
And then Marge is saying,
And
we
Le-
can't
Le-
pay our bills. And then
Right,
Lisa
but Lisa
overhears it.
hears all about this, and she's like, "What if there was an app that would stop you from posting social media
Oh, yeah,
stuff
you're right.
that would
Okay,
have
you're right, you're right,
consequences?"
you're right.
Yeah,
But before that, so
you
Burns,
mean all social media posts?
yeah, pretty much. So Burns sees this. There's a picture of him. He's melting. He's eating ice cream.
he's eating a melting ice cream cone, and Marge had captioned it "meltdown at the nuclear power plant," and Smithers has to explain to Burns Burns
likes it.
"No, it's wordplay," and Burns says something like, "Wordplay is only for crossword puzzles," and some obscure reference that I didn't
No,
understand.
what I like about it is that people will run away with something like that, and in the typical fake
Right.
news of the day, and really think that thousands of people are dying.
That's what I thought this episode was going to do. I thought
It's
there would
too
be a
early
thing
for fake news. That's
well,
only
no,
been
but
a
I
thing.
thought there would be a thing where it's like people would think there really was a meltdown at the power plant,
Oh, yeah,
and that
yeah.
was going to be like Marge has to deal with Facebook,
thought she was
cost
gonna be-
consequences.
I thought you'd be buddies with Smithers. But anyway, my point is maybe one of my favorite lines in the entire episode was,
Yeah.
I forget the setup. I think it was like Smithers is trying to defend the post. He's like, look, it got 51 posts. And,
Right.
and Mr. Burns goes, a baker's half hundred?
Yeah, that was
No,
funny.
that was good.
That was good.
I like this. That's a very Burns. That's a Conan
not bad.
O'Brien Burns line
And
right
he
there.
called the thumbs up like icon on Facebook the hitchhiker's thumb icon, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not very
It wasn't
Burns.
bad.
Oh yeah, I guess
see what
yeah,
you did there.
Hitchhiker,
It's
yeah.
pretty Burnsy.
I was thinking Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Marge is doing something in the foreground, and Homer has said something like, "That's why I never try to be funny."
And I wrote, and you succeeded.
And that leads to a whole thing where
You wrote
Homer,
that?
Homer's in the
About
background.
Marge?
No, I wrote it about Homer.
Marge is having a conversation.
Homer says, I don't try to be funny. And then a bunch of slapstick happens while Marge is having this conversation. It's
he
like,
does this whole physical comedy bit that's just terrible, and you know exactly where it's going. It doesn't subvert your expectations at all. It's pretty bad.
Oh, it's just, you're animating slapstick, and it's so forced. You know what the...
Animated slapstick does nothing
Also,
for me.
I feel like a main component of... Comedy is very hard to analyze in this kind of mathematical sense, but I feel like a big part of slapstick is the surprise. You
Yeah.
don't see it coming. And when they're fucking broadcasting it
This
out
is
like that...
telegraphed.
Yeah,
that
telegraphed,
just we're
yeah.
about to do a fucking thing. So, guys, I noticed around this time that this is an episode called The Girl Code, and it started to seem like this was going to be a Homer-centric episode, and the Girl Code piece was going to be in the background. They did do a funny bit where Lisa is talking about how she can't figure out what she wants to code, and it zooms in on her face. She's walking with Bart, and then when it zooms out, Bart has crossed the street. I thought that was pretty funny.
I love that. I thought that was a really great physical gag.
Yeah,
Lisa
agreed.
is just talking and talking and talking. They slowly zoom in away from Bart. Barton's next to her.
Yeah.
They're on her. They cut away. Bart's completely across the street. It
Yeah.
was great. That was great.
One of the
direct-
only Bart moments in this episode.
One of the very
there's,
few.
There's that, and then when Bart goes...
He uses the app for the
He
first
uses
time.
the app
which
for the first
we
time on
all
Lisa's
said
urging.
should have been Homer, but he was too busy.
Well, because Lisa says, who do we know who's impulsive and brash or
Has
something
no
like that?
filter.
Has no filter. And they go to Bart, and obviously Homer is the one who has no filter. I thought that was a strange choice to make in the episode, but I didn't write it.
All right.
And Rob Lazebnik didn't consult me.
So Marge is doing her bills, and she says,
doing
"I
the
can't pay
bills.
this." Why do all accountants wear visors? What is that? What's that from?
I don't know,
What she
man.
had a visor on. She had an orange visor. What is that? Do we know?
I don't know.
I'd Google it, but we're running long.
We're running way long.
it
It
a
was a
green
bad episode,
visor?
Rick Berger.
Usually, it's a green visor.
Usually it's a green visor. Simpsons, they don't like to do traditional colors.
It's usually a
though.
banker.
Anyway, she says, "I wish I had known in advance that my post would cause so much distress." And Lisa has an idea. Lisa gets
Right.
the
Well,
light bulb.
there's also. I just thought this was funny. They had to stop buying name brand groceries, and it cuts to Homer
They've done that before.
eating cream of calories just from a tub. I thought that was funny.
bad, yeah.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
They've bought plankton before.
They have bought plankton, and then that's when
I'll
Lisa
take up
gets the
smoking
idea.
and quit that.
An app to warn people against the
Attaboy, I didn't
consequences of social media, which is whatever. I don't know. It was a fine idea. It's weird because that's a decent idea for a fake app that you're going to do on a sitcom.
There's something subversive too about it because you're basically doing stand-up humor. It's like, don't people post stupid things without thinking?
People
But
be
you're
posting.
but you're kind of slipping it in there. You're not outright saying it by having this app
Right, but
prevent
then
it.
what it takes the episode to, spoilers for where we're about to go in the episode, but Lisa and the coders, they create a program called Conrad, and it eventually becomes sentient AI, voiced by
Which
Stephen
was
Merchant.
just a dumb way to take that
Super
story.
dumb.
What is this? Johnny Depp's Transcendence?
Or Johnny Depp's Johnny Mnemonic. That was Keanu Reeves, never mind.
They needed to have
a great
something for
movie.
Stephen
I've never
Merchant to
seen
do.
it.
They paid all that money for Stephen Merchant.
I guess, and Stephen Merchant was good. I liked his performance in this episode, but the material was not the best. And I thought this plot line and the Homer plot line even more so, just goes completely off the rails.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. I know.
I real quick about Stephen Merchant.
Yeah,
He had an American accent. It was weird. I mean, he had a British accent.
it was a little odd.
But
yeah,
he was saying certain words as if he was a British guy speaking purposely with an American
it seemed
accent.
like it wasn't his normal voice.
Yeah, it
Like
sou-
he was doing a bit of an accent.
It sounded like a British guy trying to do an American accent, but also
Right.
with a British accent.
Yeah, and we're both, and we're all fans of Stephen Merchant, I think,
Yeah.
right? Like from
You-
Extras.
you're
Hello,
big
Ladies.
on single. Hello, ladies. You
Hello,
say
Ladies is one of my favorite shows.
I haven't watched
I've
it.
mean,
not
it's only
watched a
had
single
one
episode
season.
of Hello
Him and
Ladies.
Frank
Yeah,
are way
I've
big
heard
on
good
it.
things, but I've never watched it.
He's great as the
And,
villain or the AI in Portal 2.
Hello, Lisa. Conrad here.
The old app that you created is feeling a little bit insecure. Please don't ignore me like I was just some update from Adobe.
There was a funny-ish bit where they parodied
Silicon
the opening
Valley.
of Silicon Valley in Springfield. They
What
say
did you
Springfield
think?
Valley.
What do I think of what?
Does anyone else other than me watch Silicon Valley?
I've never seen it.
on
Frank
my
likes
list.
it.
It's on my list.
It's a good show. I really like the cast is especially great, but it's a funny show.
These guys do.
And
What did you think of the parody?
it was basically they literally just did the theme song of Silicon Valley and parodied the opening, which is just kind of this time lapse photo
Which is a
of
fun-looking
Silicon Valley
thing.
growing. Yeah, and then later on in the episode, there was a shot of an app called Aviato, which is also a Silicon
Clearly,
Valley
the writers
reference.
are Silicon Valley fans.
Clearly, yeah.
It must be great. If it's Mike Judge, it's got to be great.
I mean, yeah, it's a good show. I would recommend
At first,
watching
I said, this is really lame. They're just doing a parody. That's not a joke. You're just doing it. And then I thought, you know what? Flaming Moe's in season 3 did a parody of Cheers.
true.
And I was like, Jack, you're being too hard on this show.
Being too
and
hard,
then I
Jack.
thought, no, you're not, because at least
was
that had
great
fake
parody,
lyrics,
though.
and there was funny things happening in the fictional
Simpson-
Cheers.
Well, there
Yeah.
were funny things happening in the frame, like they had
for the
different-
Silicon Valley?
In the Silicon Valley thing, they had like
What was happening?
I didn't watch it too closely. I had already been drinking. But there were things happening on screen
beer's
that
fault.
were good. It was fine. I don't know. I liked it. I like Silicon Valley. I think you should watch it. It's a good show. They did a shot where Homer is watching Lisa and Caitlin Olsen's character talk about the app they want to make, and it cuts to Homer's perspective, but it's like inside of his eyes.
So it looks like if you had a binocular mat on your camera where you're seeing like black circles around the frame.
You're seeing Homer's
with black pupils in the
eyeballs
middle.
and pupils.
You
I like
literally
that.
said, I've never seen this before.
I've never seen that before on The Simpsons.
Nick, did you like it? You're a big Simpsons fan.
No, I didn't hate it. It just was kind of I don't know, because Homer's not an important character in that story. So
Well, here's the thing.
It was more
Homer
fun
is an important
than
character
function,
in
yeah.
every story now.
Yeah, that's true.
The show is entirely about Homer, and to the detriment of story, character, everything.
The shot itself had nothing to do or
it was
have
a
anything
gag, and
overall to say,
it was
yeah.
unusual, and
It was interesting because I'd never seen it
was a
before.
non
But you're
sequitur
right; it makes no sense in the context of the story because Homer is not the character. that
If
we're
it were a
following.
funny episode, and then that was in there, I'd be like, oh, that's another thing.
Yeah, it was a nice non sequitur gag to show. It was an interesting way to show Homer's incomprehension and boredom of the smart
Right.
talk.
I mean, they have a lot of inside Homer head jokes that are kind of odd, and
Right.
like just like showing him the Clown College episode where he's just dreaming of himself asleep,
yeah,
and then
then him
himself
dreaming
dreaming of
another
eating
dream.
a
Yeah,
sandwich. And I'm like, what the hell is that?
that's pretty great. I like that.
I like it, but it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Why would he be awake dreaming of himself asleep, dreaming?
And there's
Inceptioning.
something funnier about seeing classically animated Homer munching on a sandwich in a thought bubble within a thought bubble than seeing Lisa and this Caitlin Olsen character talk with pupils over them. It's visually interesting. It's not visually funny per se.
Correct. I would agree with that.
There's a line before that I really liked, a Homer line where Lisa explains the app to him that she's creating AI, and Homer
Yep.
goes, "Lisa, you know what we do in this house about turning science fact into science fiction."
Fantasy into science.
I think it was science fact into science fiction. I think I
it was
said it
science
right.
fact into
Science
fiction.
fiction into science fact.
No, was it?
Yeah, no, that's right because
Okay.
she's making it real.
Prelude.
Right.
Yeah,
Anyway, that was a funny line.
it was a funny
It
line.
reminded me of "In this house, we obey the laws of thermodynamics."
Yeah, agreed. And there was another line that I think was the most 2016 joke possible, which is when Homer says,
When Trump said, "Ooh, Carrie Fisher's dead,"
"Yep." No, it's when Homer says,
I don't
"Siri."
think he went. Ugh. He might have done an R&B Carrie. Probably
Homer
didn't.
says, "Siri, tell Amazon to drone me a beer."
I like that line.
That is
It
just
is ahead of its time.
that is
This
just
was 2016.
2016 joke.
Let's get to the end.
I would love to get to the end.
So the app is entered into some kind of.
I don't want to tell you how long we've been
I don't wanna
recording.
know. I don't
You-
wanna know.
Yeah, you don't want to know.
So this app gets into the App Awards, the Appies, whatever.
App Crunch.
App Crunch, and
It's like a TechCrunch parody.
they win. The award is a pinwheel, which is
Yes.
the hourglass for Max.
Yes.
There's another Apple gag earlier on where Lisa gets a light bulb over her head, but it's the light bulb
Yeah.
app, is the app symbol of the help app on an iPhone is,
Right,
is an
and
orange light bulb.
with the Mac startup sound.
So
like
the writers use apples because they're writers.
clearly.
They know good computers when they see them.
Well, they're shitty computers, but that's the point.
They are now, but the older ones are better. And that's all I have to say about the A plot. The last sentence I had was, I feel like they had something to say about the gender gap, but they didn't.
I mean, I have notes, but I don't give a shit anymore. And this episode was not.
What's the notes? Let's hear him.
I
Jeff's
mean-
out of here. He's obviously the one that's holding us up.
There's not much. We're just talking about the Lisa plot, right?
Why don't we move on to the Homer thing then? Or at least
We will.
the
I mean,
AI thing.
I wrote this
Well,
episode.
do you want to talk about the AI?
This episode is losing me. The fact that Conrad was becoming an AI. That's the app that Lisa and Caitlin Olsen
Did anybody
make.
get anything out of the AI crap? Like it went nowhere.
No, it really went nowhere. You're right. Absolutely.
So it was. I guess we're supposed to feel sorry for an artificially intelligent app being sold.
Well, it's just this really weird situation where Lisa creates artificial intelligence and then that goes nowhere, and that's just kind of the end of the episode.
If you're going to
Thank
do
you.
this AI app, that deserves to be the whole episode. You have to devote all 22 minutes to this thing.
Yeah, I agree.
If it's an evolution of the gender gap theme or whatever, fine. But there's no time for non sequitur.
This could have been an interesting episode. There's a lot of threads here that I think could have been good.
There's plenty of AI or Gregor, I'm sure. Besides Lingo, I bet you we could think of 3 or 4. There's Nightboat.
Someone here is
There's always a canal
or an inlet or a fjord. On Periscope, people are pointing out that we've had AI in The Simpsons before, like Linguo, Lisa's robot that
Lingo.
she creates. It was Linguo,
Why
my friend.
was I
Linguo.
programmed
I'm
to
thinking
feel
of what's
pain?
Lingo? The Chuck Woolery?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what I was
that's the
thinking
Chuck
of.
Woolery
That was a great
game.
show.
It was a great. It was the best.
Great game.
It was the best modern
Original GSN show?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it was just really weird. And it didn't. There was not a lot of satire. There was not a lot of social commentary. It wasn't especially funny. It was just kind of there. So this episode, it starts off.
Yeah, stop yawning, Dan. It's
I
really
didn't even
rude.
yawn just now, did I?
I can't.
I haven't seen him yawn once, but
They've been-
Gregor has been harping on these yawns. I don't think I've been yawning. I do a few
somebody's
times.
yawning too much.
Maybe there's some squishy.
maybe they're just weird hiccups.
I do hiccup.
Don't hiccup. Greek plot.
Why do we yawn? What is the point of
We
it?
don't know. Scientists don't know.
It's a deep
we haven't
exhale.
figured it out.
It's
There's
inhaling
theories.
oxygen.
Like, can you die because you
This isn't
didn't
the
yawn?
Yawn Podcast.
no,
This
it's
isn't
not.
the SciSat.
It feels like the Yawn Podcast today.
It's breathing in extra oxygen.
All right, so Homer, there's a plot with Homer
when
at
you're
the power
tired.
plant with
It's
Marge
trying to wake
posting
you up.
shit to Facebook, and then all of a sudden,
It's like an.
I need you guys to realize, maybe on video it's decipherable, but when you're listening audio only and 4 people are saying 4 completely different things into the microphones, it's
tough.
literally gibberish.
it's unintelligible. Homer,
Do you want to finish your yawn thing?
Homer loses
No?
his job.
Okay.
I'm not letting them finish. They're the guests.
I was interested
I'm the
in
host.
hearing it.
No, shh.
Do not touch my face.
Yeah, that was a little awkward. Ew, your hand smelled.
I had Thai food before.
Ew.
Ew. Did you
That
wipe?
explains the peanut smell.
Did you wipe?
No. I ate it in my butt. That's how you eat food.
Isn't there a South Park episode about that?
There is.
Yes. How to eat with your butt.
No,
That's
Dan
what
does
it's
not
called.
wash his hands after he
No,
goes to
washing
the
your
bathroom.
hands is for fools.
toilet paper?
I thought this episode was going to be about Homer and like a Facebook type thing,
He
and
eats out of
instead,
his butt.
So
hey man, eating out of your butt is
Eating out of your
cool.
butt.
he had
That's cool,
previously
man.
worked in that diner, that Greek diner.
So yeah, Homer loses his job at the power plant, and he says, "I'm
bring
going
it
to go
back.
back to my old job at the Greek diner,
Yeah.
which we've never seen in 27 seasons."
Is this a
fine.
thing?
That's not a
Is this
big
a thing
deal.
outside of New York? Greek diners?
I think so.
They're everywhere here.
In New Jersey, for sure.
Nick
they have
literally
Greek
wouldn't be
diners.
on the show
They're in
tonight
New
unless I
York.
took him to a diner.
Go to Queens.
They're in New York. I don't know how you missed it.
Yeah.
Greek people own diners.
Have you never been
It's
to
well known.
Astoria?
No, I'm saying outside of New York.
Oh, outside.
These are all places.
Jersey,
in
I
New York.
maybe,
didn't say,
don't know.
are there diners in New York?
No, I thought you
I
said-
just
Yeah,
ate it.
Jack. There's tons of diners in New York.
Does
There's
this
like a
exist
few
in
down
New
the
York?
street.
So for you fans that
You
are
got
outside New
Bridgeview
York,
Diner, Fort Hamilton Diner.
do you know any Greek
So
diners?
there's like, oh, you know what? There's not, because when my girlfriend first moved here to New York, she was overwhelmed by the options on the menu, because Greek diners or diners,
Sure.
literally
There's a lot of stuff.
everything's
Yeah,
on the
you can
menu.
get everything.
Anything. And
Yep.
she like,
Clams Casino
I
you
don't know
can
what to
get.
get. Yeah.
But really,
Don't get
most
the-
of the food nobody
Yeah,
gets.
no, you don't get the pasta
No.
at the Clams Casino.
No, don't get any of the
Don't
weird
get the
stuff.
steak.
Chef
I mean,
recommends.
Get a burger, get pancakes, get eggs.
You either
Basically,
get breakfast or
sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Burgers,
soups or
burgers.
salads.
sandwiches, soups, salads, fries.
Maybe like
not
No,
maybe like
salads.
chicken tenders.
I would
or
not get soups.
But here's the thing.
I
in this
wouldn't get
episode,
gyros at a diner.
We
If
pick
it's,
up-
if it's a
okay.
specifically Greek diner, yeah.
I've gotten them.
you can get a
They're
gyro.
If you get a Greek salad with gyro in it,
Our Greek diner turned into a Stewart's roast beef.
I like Stewart's.
Not roast beef.
we
root
went.
beer.
We went there.
Why did my brain turn root beer because the RB?
Because RB, I guess.
Did one of us get the hot
Arby's.
dog when we went?
No,
I can't remember if
A&W,
we got-
man. That was a great diner.
We got floats. Remember?
A&W was a great Staten Island diner.
A&W was great because they brought it out to your car.
So Homer goes to work at this
that was
Greek
just the worst
restaurant.
drive-through ever.
Except Hurricane Sandy destroyed it, and up until 2
Yeah,
weeks
there's
ago,
still
there were
nothing.
still Halloween
They give him
decorations
his.
from
They give him his
2012
job
in the
back
window.
after like 20 years. Yeah.
Homer.
Don't blame me. I didn't watch the episode.
Homer goes to work at this Greek diner as a
I voted
dishwasher.
Kodos.
He hasn't been there in like 20 years. Apparently, they've not washed a dish in 20 years.
Yeah, they waited for Homer to wash the dishes.
But here's the weird thing about the episode. He takes this job again, and he just slowly turns into a Greek person, or rather a stereotypical Greek person filtered through the Simpsons writer's lens.
And only
Which
because they were
means-
playing that song. That what's that from?
The opa, the da-dum, da-dum, da-dum,
Is that it? Is that the tune?
Yeah, that's it.
Pretty sure.
I only know it from Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking
I
Barrels.
was in Greece not that long ago, so I think I know what I'm talking
Just the
about.
little guitar kind of.
If you're Greek, you know it.
Or
It's the traditional
It's,
Greek music. You smash plates to it. I've done it.
No, you don't smash plates to it because Homer smashed plates and they yelled at him.
I smashed plates in Greece to that song, and everyone was like, "Opa!" And it was like very, very fun.
somebody wrote Grease.
So yeah, this whole
Greece is the word.
this
but
whole
that's
B
fun.
plot is basically Homer gets a job at a diner, which to their credit of all the Homer
Adontis.
tweets,
I mean, we haven't seen that
Homer
one.
gets a job. We haven't seen this one,
But-
but the entire episode becomes Greek
Homer
stereotypes.
turns into a Greek stereotype.
He falls in love, and this kind of makes sense now that I think about it.
yeah.
Basically, Homer falls in love with the Greek culture. That's the best thing we can kind of dissect.
Sort
it. Yeah.
of.
And that makes sense for Homer as a character.
He grows a
kinda-
mustache. He's got chest hair.
But why
he's
does he
into
start
Greek stuff.
dancing all of a sudden?
I don't know.
Because the Greeks dance. I don't know.
But Greek stereotypes are these bigger,
They're drinking ouzo.
gregarious guys who are very friendly
Sure.
and heterosexual kissing, as Homer puts it, which is not a Greek
Yeah.
thing. It's a Mediterranean thing.
That's a very Mediterranean. Italians do it too.
We love kissing each other.
That's why I kiss Jack before every episode.
Every episode we do a prayer and a kiss.
Full on the mouth kiss. Oop, there it was.
I'm sorry.
This would work if it was not a video podcast.
That's not gibberish.
I think it is gibberish, actually. But yeah, I mean, the episode becomes Homer is Greek stereotype, and it's just where the
There's
fuck did that come from?
plus separate dance sequences.
There are 3 dance sequences. There's an extended dance sequence at a Greek diner. There's a shorter one at Moe's. And then there is the post-credits. There's one during the credits where Homer is dancing at the power plant by himself.
That one could be
Mo had a
Lisa's.
good line though.
There was a good line because they're saying Greeks, they love life and they love living, and Mo says, I wrote it down here, it's Mo's Tavern is about hating life.
I love that line.
That was a great line. That was really funny. But other than that, I mean, this
What do
whole
you guys think of? So in the very beginning, when they hire Homer to be the dishwasher, the short order cook, which I don't think we need to explain this, but no, because there's been diners on like Route 66 and shit, right?
Sure.
The diners are basically restaurants with short order cooks. Where you do
people know what
yeah,
diners
okay,
are, I think.
People know what a short order cook is.
Right. For some reason in New York, it's Greek based. I mean, Sarah Connor worked in a diner in L.A., so the diners must be a thing.
Right, they're around. Terminator is our
For whatever
rubric
reason in New
everything.
York, they're mostly Greek owned.
Although there's a
Right.
lot of like Puerto Rican ones too.
Yeah, I know, but
but
there's
it's
a lot
mostly
of.
in
But
Queens.
for some reason, there's a Greek based.
I mean, Puerto Ricans are the Greeks of the Latin American community.
They're not, but.
I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that's offensive or...
Anyway, so this guy, the cook, comes up and he goes, "I drop a Band-Aid into hash browns."
yeah.
The owner goes, "Yes, Homer. Yes, be a dishwasher. It is your destiny." And then the chef comes out and goes, "I drop Band-Aid into hash browns."
Right,
and
he
the
says
guy
that
ignores him and
a
goes,
man cannot escape his destiny.
Yeah.
That was
and then
the bit.
and the guy ignores him and goes, "Yes, destiny."
Right.
The joke being he's just ignoring the hand, and then the cook just goes,
Right. I liked the noise he made, but the whole like destiny thing, that was whatever.
I think that can sum up pretty much most post-classic episodes. We like the noise they made.
I like the noise they made, but the rest of it I could do without.
Fisher Michael's saying something about bad economic structures. I feel like at the very end there's a line about drachmas, but besides that, they don't really mention the Greeks' horrible financial crisis.
Well,
the
there was a line where Homer says, "I'm a true Greek. I'm going to quit my job and go on welfare," or something like that.
That just seemed mean.
That just seemed mean-spirited. And then it was Homer gets his paycheck and he's paid 2,000 drachmas,
They do retire at 55.
which translates to $0.
Yeah, which
So
whatever.
those are the two economic
Greeks have no
Greek
money.
jokes.
Millions of people are starving to death. It's hilarious.
I was in Athens when there was a lot of protests about this stuff.
Yeah, that must have been awkward being a
was
rich
awkward.
American
Probably
going
blown a
on
lot of
I would
vacation.
not describe myself as a rich American.
compared to them.
That day you
Compared to
were.
the dirty
maybe.
poor Greeks.
That day you were.
I guess that day I was.
The dollar was
That day I
strong,
had
my
money
friends.
strong, my friend.
Yeah, I had $10 in my pocket, and that was 20,000 drachmas.
$10 in my pocket.
And the other hand is playing a
Can we
high
ta-
side.
Can we talk about this? So we hated the dance sequences, right? Because there was
Totally.
there wasn't funny. There was nothing there.
I don't know why they did it. Like,
was just a
I
waste of
can't
time.
imagine anybody thinking that's funny.
I think we've
Yeah,
talked about this
agreed.
before, where we're just watching it. There's no jokes. There's no plot. There's no character development. We're just
It was
watching
just nothing.
It's,
There was
it's
nothing
literally
to it.
nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they animate it because they think it's funny.
It's
Like
filler
Homer,
between the commercials.
Exactly. Homer's butt cheeks are jiggling to the beat.
Yeah.
I do want to. I bring up the first sequence where they do the whole. They get into a ring. They all get into a circle.
Right.
And all of a sudden, there's random Springfield characters like Krusty and Patty and. I don't know why. This was just the worst part of the episode.
I mean, well, we're not even positive it was a fake mustache, but basically Homer just assumes he's Greek now.
Eyebrows also.
And he's got eyebrows, he's got chest hair, he's wearing a gold chain. It's just stereotypical
He
Greek
really
person.
fell in love with being Greek. And
To be fair, Greeks do dress like that.
some, yes.
No, the ones
Some
the ones
Greeks
in
do.
diners, yeah.
The
ones-
Greek people, though.
They always got, like, a big
there are
fucking
people
mole
that are
on their
Greek,
face
and
or
then
some
there are
shit.
Greek people. Same with anything. There
Same with
are
Italians.
people with Italian, and then there are Italians.
There's
Again-
a lot of hairy Italians, but some Italians aren't
And
so
the
hairy.
Greeks were basing this on our New York
You know,
Greeks.
I'm Italian, but I do
Yeah.
not show.
That's what I'm saying. We're basing this on New York Greeks,
Right.
just like New York Italians are more like my family.
hey, Jackie boy, the New York
whereas
Italians, the
you're-
Mets are going to go all the way.
You're Italian. You've got Italian.
Yeah, I got some Italian.
Missy's Italian. None of your families are as Guido, I guess, to put it as
Staten
mine.
Island Italian.
Staten
Yeah,
Island
that's fair.
Italian, yeah.
That's fair.
So I think there's a whatever makes up a Staten Island Italian. There's a
some of my
that,
relatives
there's a
have
New
it,
York
but,
Greek.
you know.
Yeah, there's
But there's, it's more of
it's
the
almost
Staten
more of a
Island culture than it
and
is
to
the
be
Italian
honest, a New
culture.
York Greek and a New York Jew and a New York Italian, very very similar, almost indistinguishable. I think it's almost a New York thing over anything, like an early 20th century immigrant thing that has been passed down.
No, that's
generations.
absolutely true.
Yeah. Are we done talking about the girl
I'm-
code?
I'm fucking
How
done.
did it end? Oh wait, Jeff, what did you see? What was the last 30 seconds you saw?
All I saw was them standing outside in like a courtyard. And
Jeff
and
saw
like
them
I said,
leaving App Crunch.
I was drawn to Homer's
Homer was
mustache.
Greek.
I didn't really see much
how
else.
the app thing resolve?
The app thing resolved.
I did not see
where
anything about the app.
Conrad did not want to get uploaded to the cloud, and so Lisa deleted him.
Oh my
he
Oh,
died?
really? I thought he
I
was.
guess.
I thought she did put him in the cloud.
Oh, his
No, she
AI
did
ending
not.
in Portal 2 is much better.
All right, guys, it is time to rank this episode, and to do that, we're going to look at our Hippo scale, looking at the humor, the integrity, the production values, and the originality of this episode. So, Jack, would you kindly put 2 minutes on that old clock of ours?
Sure, let me just beep boop beep 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 bop, bop.
Can I have a cookie?
No, you cannot
I
have a
have
cookie.
smart cookies that don't taste very good.
All right, so this episode, the girl code from season 27, we're looking at the humor first on a 0 to 5 scale. Nick, Jeff, what do you guys think first?
What the fuck am I supposed to say?
Yeah, actually, Jeff, you didn't even see
Wait,
the episode.
zero's
Right here.
bad?
0's the worst, 5 is the best. Nick, what do you got?
I give it a 1.
Giving it a 1. Jack, what are you thinking?
Sorry, somebody's asking if Dave came back. Dave came back for another episode.
I was talking to Dave recently. Maybe we'll get him back
But he did.
in the future, in
he
2017.
was back like 20, 30 episodes after he introduced the Hippo scale.
Yes, he did come back. He's been on twice. But yeah, we'll probably get Dave back at some point.
Humor, I'm going to give it 1.
I don't know, 1 seems kind of low.
That seems
I
accurate.
liked-
It seems perfect.
I liked the first act better than I liked the rest of it. I'm going to give it a 1.5.
I could do 1.5. That's fine.
But looking at the integrity, Jeff, your opinion doesn't matter. But Nick, what is your opinion? The integrity.
Integrity.
The characters.
Were
Are
they
the
faithful?
characters faithful to what they used to be? Is this the Simpsons you remember?
Lisa wasn't. but everybody else, I guess, was. So I guess I give it a 4.
Even Homer is a Greek.
That's pretty high.
Oh, well, Homer, being the stupid Greek guy.
Homer's
Okay,
all over the place.
so I'll give it a 3.
Jack, what are you thinking?
Score
I don't
seems
know.
kind of low.
It's 3 out of the 5 characters.
No. Oh, yeah, you're right. I guess you're. I thought I believed you, Fisher Michaels, but you're right. I guess Dan does say it more than me.
That's kind of low. I don't know, Jack, if I ever say that.
2. So, I actually think that Homer falling in love with the Greek culture makes sense. Lisa with the girl code and the AI makes sense.
Yeah.
Minusing some points for the flat characterization of the new characters, which isn't that big a deal because they're new characters, and because there's no emotional weight to any of the decisions in this episode.
Completely agree with you. I think that with a few tweaks, this could have actually been a pretty good episode, but the way it stands, I mean, it's just kind of all over the place. It's very scattershot. It's very shoehorned in. Pop, pop, pop,
Yeah.
pop. I'm also going to give it a 2.
Yeah, 2 is fine. I think some of our hundreds of live followers right now are doing this, but yeah, jump in with what you guys would grade this.
Yeah, I mean, we have 12,000 Periscope viewers right now?
I think that's 120,000. I think you miscounted the zeros.
120,000. That's amazing.
So yeah, tell it.
Why?
So let us know what the scores are.
So let us know if we're right.
So what would you guys give production? Geoff and Nick, we're going to ask you, and
Jeff,
we're also
based on
asking
the
Periscope.
one cell of animation you saw, what production values would you give it? A 0 or 5?
I give it a 1 because that
Okay.
mustache looked pretty fake, and
It
then
did
the
look pretty
stupid
fake.
dancing thing at the end during the credits was pretty ridiculous.
Nick, what do you think of for production values?
So, like, how much work went into it?
This is the animation, the direction, the voice acting.
How well did they use the medium of animation to further jokes? Tell jokes?
I mean, I guess they did a little bit. I have 3, I guess.
I could go 3. I've
wrong,
got 2.5.
Yes.
I mean, they did have a lot of jokes that could only have been done through
Exactly.
animating.
I really liked
kicking Milhouse out the room.
Kicking Milhouse.
That's a good point. I did like
mustache
that.
on top of a beard.
And I also liked the looking through Homer's eyes.
Yeah.
Even
I
if
liked
it
the
didn't
Homer's
add
eyes,
that much, I
and
liked the visual.
And my favorite gag was zooming out from Bart and then zooming back out, and Bart is across the street.
The acid.
It sounds like
The
it's been
acid.
done before, though.
Maybe it has, but it still worked for the joke. There's
Fair
there's
enough.
moves here I liked. Maybe I should take points off for the fucking Greek
Someone
dancing.
on Periscope's pointing out the Silicon Valley reference, which I also
Yeah,
did like. So I'm
that's-
going to give it some points for that. I'm
Yeah,
going to
go
say
3.
I'm going to say 2.5, right down the middle.
I got
You know,
2.5. I'm gonna go 3.
I think this is an episode that wasn't especially good in production, but it was not bad. So I'm going to give it. the
Yeah,
2.5.
and the droning in the beer, that was a pretty
Don't show them our secret.
They had a lot
Rankings.
of good, like, little gags where they would show a product and, like, a little
You're
slogan
right. I'm
next
happy
to
with
it.
my 3.
Yeah.
You're making me feel better about my 3.
All right,
Production.
and finally, the originality.
The originality.
Jeff, what do you think? How original was this episode based on our conversation about it? Since you
Sounds
didn't
like
watch
it was pretty original, at least. But
Well,
I'm gonna make you guys wait unless you finish this up. Discuss. I'm gonna go.
I mean,
pee.
we can't finish without you, Jack. So
a chickpea is neither a chick nor a pea. Discuss.
we'll extend the timer, and Jack's gonna go pee pee.
No coffee talk.
Nick, what do you think about the originality? This is where any storytelling problems would also weigh in.
The originality of the premises, I guess I'll go 0. I mean,
Really?
there
You
was
think
nothing
totally
here.
unoriginal?
There was nothing here that I haven't seen before.
I mean,
Even in the context of The Simpsons, I've probably seen all of these things in some way, shape, or form. They
We've
didn't-
never seen Homer as a Greek man before, but arguably,
But they've
we've
made
seen
they've
him
made
change
jokes.
culture.
They've
arguably,
seen,
we don't need to see that at all.
we've seen him fall in love with things for no reason before, and this they were just it's like they were just
He's a
like
sheep.
covered their eyes and just picked a random country, and we're like, oh, Greece, okay.
Oh, we ain't offended the Greeks in a long time.
No,
Let's
it's
do
more
that
like
one.
who's in the news right now. I mean, back in January, it was
That's
a little
true.
bit more that the Greeks were in the news
You're
about
right.
their,
Well, especially when
financial
this
troubles.
episode was in production
But
in
they
2014.
barely
yeah.
mentioned anything Greek in the whole episode. Really, just other than giving him an accent and being kind of
Obnoxious.
gregarious and kind of drunk.
I would agree with you. It's very, very shoehorned in
Well,
and
Uzo
not
was a
great.
great
Pop, pop,
thing.
pop. But what about the Lisa plot, the whole coding thing?
Terrible.
I mean, how original was
it
that?
It was terrible. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, we've seen
I-
Lisa.
as far as originality goes, I mean, I would say it's unoriginal, but I would still go with it in the sense that if it were funny, I would still laugh and I would like it. But it's not original. They've had Lisa fall under the spell of people before, I guess, or they've had her go on little adventures because some charismatic person. But this was just terribly done. But I mean, I don't know. I don't.
It's not a good episode for
That's
sure.
a fair point.
I think below average is where you would put it, right?
Yeah, I give it a 0 on
I don't
originality.
know. I mean, that's way below average. So yeah, I guess I'm accurate. Jack, what are you thinking? You're back
Way
and joining
below
us.
a 1?
I'm between a 1 and 1.5. I kind of missed your guys' arguments.
Yeah, I mean,
It's original.
Basically, we don't like.
We've
this
never
episode.
seen these plots before.
No, I think Nick makes a fair
But
case, but
storytelling structure-wise, for Nick's the
just
whole
go with a
Greek.
1
The
instead
Greek
of a
thing was
0.
the Greek thing's a 0. The Greek thing's a 0.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that yes, I can buy Homer falling in love with Greek culture, there was nothing about this that was done that supported the idea, the premise. That's a 0. I like I like the idea of addressing the agenda gap. I like the idea of Lisa coming up with an app. I've tried to come up with an app. So that's relatable.
I know. I like the idea of the Lisa storyline. The Lisa storyline. I don't like the execution of it. I'm gonna give it a 1.5 myself. It seems like you're probably on the same page,
I'm torn
Jack.
between 1.5. Give me a reason to go 1.5.
I mean, look at Malibu Stacy was a different episode where she makes Lisa Lionheart, and that tackles a lot of the same issues, and they do it a hell of a lot better.
Very true.
And she does follow like an odd, weird female, like the lady that invented Malibu
That's
Stacy.
exactly what I needed. I'm going to a 1.
You know what? I think I'm also gonna go to a 1. I think Nick convinced me to go to a 1.
I just got my frisbee back after 8 years. Oh.
A man cannot escape his destiny.
My band-aid fell into the hash browns.
Destiny.
Okay, so we have crunched our numbers, and before we get into the ranking of this episode, we just want to say who suggested the girl code. It was at Windy Shadow 34 suggested this
Wendy.
episode. Thank you for that one.
Obviously, we hated it, but
fuck yourself,
Go
Wendy.
fuck yourself, Windy.
that's the point of the show. We appreciate it.
But this episode is going to rank number 30 on our current list. Not very good.
So there's 29 worse than this?
There
Double
are
bang.
29 worse than this. This is going to be slightly better episode than The Man Who Came to Be Dinner, and a slightly worse episode than The Scorpion's
And
Tale.
thank you at Dan Brio 1.
For reminding us to say
reminding us.
who suggested this episode. So thanks for that. That's where we're going to put the girl code, and we're about to wrap up the show. But
No,
before
we're
we
not
do
gonna
that,
wrap up the show.
Before we do
we've
that,
got something else.
We
We've
have a
got-
little fun
gotta go-
game to
We've
play.
got
eh?
Bourbon Please tradition since way back at episode 12.
Oh goodness!
Way back.
So
right.
we play a game every New Year's called Which is the Right Episode? I don't think the game has
We
name.
need a better name than which is the right episode.
Here's
Fact or fiction?
So the original idea behind this game was
2 bullshits and an answer.
I would give you 2 bullshits and a real episode title of a of a post-classic episode of The Simpsons.
Is it even 2 in 1? I thought it was 3 in 1.
It's 2, sometimes it's 3. The joke is that look at how wacky these Simpsons titles are.
Right.
Look, they must be terrible episodes, but that's kind of lost its way now that we've covered 93 episodes.
Yeah.
So it's less that and more just stupid nonsense.
All right, I love stupid nonsense, so I'm into this.
The other thing is, Dan was telling me before the show, he's like, I don't know if we can do the game. I know all the episodes now because I know everything. I went to Cornell.
I did go to Cornell. It's an Ivy League school. Maybe you've heard of it. But I see the episodes that get suggested, so I do know a fair amount of episode titles
When
that
we
have been
first did it
suggested.
in episode 12, you didn't know anything.
I didn't know shit in episode 12.
And every year I pick a specific season and pick
but
a season
now
because
I'm much better.
it's easier for me to like narrow my choices down of what to parody.
So you picked a
Lawyer
specific
fans.
season.
And I parodied it.
Okay.
So what I did this time is it's actually, I think, 2 seasons. I called...
It's Loblaw.
They're calling me Dan Lawlaw on the
Dan
on the
Lawlaw.
Periscope.
He is a Lala.
I am a
You,
Lawlaw.
sir,
Or a
are
mouthful.
This year's crop is called from unaired episodes. So
Oh.
either from the rest of season 28 or I think, because you'll see later, I think season 29 is also in here.
Okay. All right. That's a great call.
So I have
Good call,
10
Jack.
I have 10
Done
real
homework.
episodes here and a bonus one we'll do at the very end.
All right.
Because it's a slam
Now,
dunk.
are our guests, are Nick and Geoff also going to be playing?
You're going to participate, and there are thousands of Periscope listeners,
All right. All
followers.
1,200,000 Periscope listeners are going to
will
play
also
as well.
be playing along. So,
Okay. So here we go.
Again-
This is
Got a lot of
hearts for
exciting.
that one.
Although, if you guys are following on Periscope and you actually do know these unaired episodes, don't. If you know the answer,
I'm not going to look at the Periscope comments, so you
don't-
guys can say whatever you want.
Guess if you have no idea.
I'm
Sure.
going to look.
I'm wearing my Kanye West goggles.
Nick, you get the idea of the game?
I wasn't listening.
Let's turn up that flash a little bit.
It's something about names.
I'm going to name a bunch of
Some of them are real.
episode titles.
Right.
You have to guess which is the actual Simpsons episode title. The rest are ones I made up today at work.
So 1 out of the 10 is real?
So you were really busy at
one
work
at
today.
each, series.
I was actually busy. I really had to stop what I was doing, and I'm behind, and I have a lot of work Tuesday now. No, there'll be 3 or 4, and you have to guess the real one.
All right.
All right, let's do it, Jack. We're ready.
I feel like I don't need to explain this again, but Nick is
You don't?
having trouble.
Nick will pick up
Find it
on
up
it.
to here with your rules.
All right, let's do it.
Number 1. Singing in the lane,
That's a real one.
winging in the frame, clinging to the same.
I'm going to go with that first one.
I'm going to repeat them.
Okay.
Singing in the lane, winging in the frame, clinging to the same.
I'm going to say that Singing in the Lane is the real one.
Just because you wouldn't get the reference for any of the other ones.
The other ones are a little too far removed.
A few people also agree with you. Somebody says C. Somebody says D. There's only 3 answers, McGregor.
Well, D is all of the above, that they do one of each.
Oh, okay. The only other answer I'll accept from McGregor is R.
Of course, because...
The answer is number 1, C, Singing in the Lane.
There you go.
A, Singing in the
We
Lane.
did it, guys.
I'm guessing it's going to be some kind of bowling musical.
It's
Probably.
the laziest.
Sounds terrible.
All right, Jack, number 2.
22 Feet from Stardom.
Okay, like the movie.
22 for 30.
Ooh, like the ESPN series.
Fahrenheit 22.
I'll go with the Fahrenheit.
I'm going to go with 22 Feet from Stardom.
I don't know what those first 2 are even
I'll go with B.
referencing.
They're referencing a movie called 20 Feet from Stardom and ESPN's 30 for 30 series.
30 for 30 was because it was the 30th anniversary,
Okay.
and there was 30 movies. In the first season, there was 30 movies, right?
Yes,
30 for 30?
correct.
What's the 20 feet from... Why
No,
are they...
they're-
Oh, they're 20 feet because
20
they were
Feet
the
from
background
Stardom
singers.
was about background
It was
singers.
about that specific
Yeah.
background singer.
Yeah.
The one that did Give Me
30
Shelter.
for 30 was 30
Yeah.
stories in 30 minutes.
It's just a shot away!
Yay! If you hear in the background, Mick Jagger
Yeah.
goes, yeah, because she breaks her voice. All right, what were you saying, Jeff? Well, I missed all the answers over here.
Fuck the Periscope people.
Oh, Jesus.
Only us matter.
Fisher Michael says 22 feet. You say 22 feet?
I also say 22
Jeff, what do you
feet.
say?
I said B.
22 for 30?
I'll change my answer to Dan's.
22 feet. Again, it's 22 feet from Stardom, 22 for 30, Fahrenheit 22. Anybody else in Periscope? You might have already said it, but if you want to say it again, I'm sorry I missed it. The answer, 22 for 30, is the
Really?
real episode.
Oh, shit.
Isn't that what we said?
Say now.
No, we said 22 Feet from
That's
Stardom.
I meant
Jeff
the one,
said that one.
I meant
Yes, I said
the
that one.
thing.
Are we keeping score? We're not.
Yeah, they'll keep score.
They didn't. They're not. No one's keeping score.
Do you want me to keep score?
No.
Is there,
cares?
is there a prize?
I just assume you're going to get most of them because they're going to get a lot easier as we move on.
All right, then let's
because
move on to number 3.
Again, I spent like a half hour on these, and then I was
Sure.
running out of time. I was like, the Bimpsons.
So there's no Mel's Fair and Bonehair War?
There's not going to be a Mel's Fair and Bonehair War.
Oh, boy.
Or
It's New Year's Eve.
or the gay who birthed
The
Lou.
Gay Who Birthed Lou. My favorite fake title ever.
There might be some of those later because
All right.
I ran out of steam.
All right, so what do I got for the next one?
Number
then,
3.
Jack?
King. Which one are you laughing at? The gay that birthed Lou?
Gay That Birthed Lou is pretty great.
It's about Lou's gay parents.
Yeah, that's right. And they birthed him.
hold on. It's
By
a
the way,
real episode?
I want no, it's
No,
not.
it's not. It's a fake
But
one.
all of these fake titles I come up with, I want you to know, I do come up with some kind of semblance of a plot
Yeah,
to justify
of course,
it.
obviously. You're a professional, Jack. This isn't
right.
some fly-by-night operation.
Number 3,
Okay.
King of the Hilton,
Ooh.
Putting on the Months,
Oh, shit.
Moho House.
Putting on the months.
I see what you've done here.
They're all hotels.
I'm going to agree with Nick and say Putting on the Months is the real one.
Moho House.
McGregor says B.
Unless Paris Hilton's in it.
Anthony says B as well.
We got a few
Fisher
Months
Michael
fans.
says you should be a writer, Jack. Go fuck yourself. That's funny though. Jeff, what do you say?
Moho House.
The Moho House,
Moho
as in
House.
Soho House, but with Mo as the name.
Mo.
The correct answer is Moho House.
Really?
Yeah.
Two for
Shit.
3.
Jeff is taking the lead decisively.
What does it mean if we get these wrong? Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because Jeff wins.
Whoever loses will die.
First one was a car. Second one's get a set of steak knives. Third one's is fire.
I don't know what Moho House is, and I'm not even sure it's a Mo parody because it's spelled M-O-H-O. I don't know if it's
like
about
Hojo, like Howard Johnson.
Soho House is the hotel.
Oh.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if Moho is pronounced is about Mo. I don't know.
I have
Number
no
4.
idea.
Must
All right.
kill Mo.
Speaking of Mo, the kids can lay hold you. Speaking of Mo,
Yeah.
number 4. Looking for Mr. Mo's bar. Looking for Mr. Good Bart. Cooking for Sister's bad farts.
Wait. I'm sorry. Can I hear number C again?
Number C.
Shut up, Jeff.
Number C is a real title written by the actual Simpsons writers that I find very funny, and that's why I'm having trouble saying it.
Giddy.
Great sell, Jack. Great. You got it. We're done. Everybody's voting C now, right? You just sold it to us. You told us the real answer.
Number C again, please.
Because they're talented Emmy-winning writers. Looking for Mr. Mo's bar.
That was A.
That's not C.
Number
Looking
B.
for Mr. Good Bart.
Okay.
Okay.
Cooking.
Oh, man.
Cooking for. Cooking for Sister's bad farts.
I just wanted to confirm that it was cooking for Sister's bad farts.
A legitimate option.
And a legitimate option in this game we're playing. Woo! So it was looking for Mr. Mo's bar, and then what was the second one?
Looking for Mr. Mo's bar, and I want to hear from Periscope too. Looking for Mr. Mo's bar, looking for Mr. Good Bart.
Okay.
Cooking for Sister's bad farts.
Yeah, I know cooking for Sister's bad farts. I'm going to say looking for Mr. Mo's bar.
Yeah, I gotta go with Mo's bar.
I'm going to go with B.
Anthony is a lot of people saying A. Anthony totally calling me out on saying that I came up with a plot for every episode.
All right, what is it, Jack?
Cooking for Sister's bad farts, if it's the fake one,
Yeah.
would be about Bart having to cook for Lisa and he gives her gas.
Oh boy, I would love to see that episode. That gets a 5 in originality.
Was
for
it a
me.
bolognese
Wait, what
sauce?
did you say, Nick?
I said B.
Nick is correct. It's looking for Mr. Good Bart.
Really? Oh man.
Looking for Mr. Good Bart, the
Nick's
actual
taking the
episode
lead.
of The Simpsons.
Yeah, so no bolognese. Huh?
She is vegan, so she will fart a lot.
So Nick has 2. I have 1. Jeff has 1. Right?
I had 3.
I have 2.
Do you?
Jeff has 2, yeah.
Do I
he was
only have
winning.
1? Oh shit, I'm
Yeah,
losing.
you had Singing in the Lane, right?
Well, I'm only the host of a Simpsons podcast. That's fine.
Number 5. You ready? Number 5?
Yeah, I'm ready.
The Great Fatsby. Now, this is key
okay.
for the rest of the theme of this round.
Is it an F. Scott Fitzgerald's theme?
The fat is not F-A-T, it's P-H-A-T.
What?
Oh shit.
The Great Fatsby.
Okay, pretty hot and tempting.
Yeah, The Great Pretty Hot and Tempting SB. Why?
Chris Tucker would be so.
You'd be so happy.
You ready?
Yep.
Money talks.
The
I
Great
saw Fat Beach.
The Great Fatsby. Tender is the night. Not.
I don't think that's the
It's
real
not-
one.
that's not
I
the
don't
one.
think that's the real one. Watch It is the real one. Now I don't know what to think.
The Curious Case of Benjamin de Bompton.
That's the one.
The,
The
do you see
Curious
the
Case
theme? Do you see the theme here?
of Benjamin
No,
I
the
worked. I
Bompton.
worked really hard. Maybe not so much with the second one to come up with the theme here of F. Scott Fitzgerald works that are also 90s slang.
Yes, I get it.
I guess I got to go with A.
I'm gonna
The
also
Great
say
Fatsby?
A. The Great
Fatsby.
Fatsby.
Is the real episode? You're right.
Yeah.
It's not Tender as the Night. Not. Or The Curious Case of Benjamin de Bompton.
Benjamin de Bompton. I would like to see that episode, but you know, I didn't think it was real.
McGregor kicking ass here.
All right.
Number 6. Giant Size Homer.
Okay.
Camp Crustier. You only move thrice.
Ooh.
So
So
this is
all
actually
three.
the most difficult round.
This is a tough one. So
I'm gonna go
all
C.
3 are references to past episodes, past
But-
great episodes,
But
but enhanced.
more. Enhanced.
So it was
So
what?
let me go over again.
Yeah.
giant size Homer, which is
Right, after king size Homer.
Camp Krustier.
After Camp Krusty.
You only move thrice.
After you only move twice.
C.
I think I might agree with Nick. I'm going to say you only move thrice.
Giant size Homer.
I missed it. What did the kids on Periscope say?
All
5 billion
12,000
you?
of them, whatever they are.
The answer was B, Camp Krustier.
Oh,
Really?
man. No one got it.
That's the worst one.
Shit.
I know.
What's
That's
it
like
about?
I don't know. I'm guessing it's a sequel to Camp Krusty.
That's like a jack size.
A season 28 or season 29 sequel to Camp Krusty.
All right.
All right. That's 6. We've got 4 left.
Okay. Number
All
7.
rights reserved on them.
And a bonus.
And a bonus. Nice.
Cad in the Hat.
Oh, boy. I could see that being real.
Whoa, the faces of Mo. Do you see a theme here?
Yep, I get the theme.
One fish, a poo fish, Ned fish, Disco Stew fish.
That is amazing.
Obviously a takeoff. 2 eyes in every garage, 3 eyes in every fish from season
that
2.
too. But they're all Dr. Seuss titles.
Yes, I got that.
I'm going to go with C.
I'm going to do it one more time.
Please give me them again, yeah.
Cad in the Hat.
Actually, I'll go with A.
Whoa, the faces of Mo. One fish, a poo fish, Ned fish, Disco Stew fish.
I sort of want to say, whoa, the faces of Mo, but I'm going to say A. The cat in the hat.
Jeff says, Nick says A, Jeff?
I'll go A.
A. Fisher Michael says A. McGregor got a lot of people keep getting kicked out. I guess Periscope's just as shitty as all the
Periscope
rest
sucks.
of
I'm sorry, guys.
the apps. McGregor says C.
C was amazing.
One fish, a poo fish, Ned fish, Disco Stew fish.
Yeah.
Disco Stew fish.
I'm gonna tell you, it's
Although
not.
I don't
Well
think
done.
Jack could have thought of that, so I'm going to go with C.
Oh shit! Nick changing his answer last minute.
I'm gonna tell you this. It's not C.
Fuck! Nazis.
And I went back and forth. And I went back and forth over having Lou fish, Lou the cop.
I like Disco Stew Fish. I think
yeah.
that was great.
And I replaced Lou with Disco Stew.
Yeah.
I
Why not one fish, Lou fish, Disco Stew fish?
Yeah.
Is that why they were called Nazis? Because they hated C's?
They hated the C.
They hated communists.
Not
They don't
capitalism.
like the C.
Not capitalism.
Not
Oh, also, I was going to make a joke early in the episode about
Not
this,
sure.
this app about preventing you from saying stupid things and like how I could have used it when we were on Canadian National Radio and I said
Yep.
Hitler was a great man.
Yep, that
Could
happened.
have used that app.
You could have used that app.
But what would the app have told us? You would have mined Comedy Gold on future episodes of podcasts.
Mein Kampf to Comedy Gold.
God damn it, Dan.
The correct answer, Cat in the Hat.
don't have.
There you go. That's what I said.
Damn it.
That's
was not
2 points
was
for
not
Dan.
Whoa,
but-
the faces of Mo or
but
one
Disco
fish, a
Stew
poo fish,
fish.
Ned fish, Disco Stew fish.
don't-
I had so many drafts of this one. You know, I had so many drafts of several of these, including episodes that didn't make the cut because I couldn't
Sure.
come up with a third good one.
Of course.
All right, here's the next
All
one.
those poor
Okay.
students. And their
These are going to get a
neglected,
little harder / much easier.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
little harder
administration
/
requirements.
So into this.
much easier. There's only 3 left and
Okay.
a bonus.
Okay. And I'm excited for that bonus.
The persistence of Marjorie,
Okay.
Whistler's father,
Ooh.
Mona Barta.
Mona Barta is a pretty shitty title, so I'm gonna say Mona Barta.
Still got 2 more to go.
Oh wait, what?
A fiver.
I thought we usually have 3 choices.
I had a lot of fun coming up with fake paintings.
Okay.
American Clodhick munches the dough.
I don't think Munches the Dough is a real one.
All right, so you know what?
Only one of them is real?
So one of these is a real episode.
the
They're
5?
obviously all what?
They're all famous paintings.
Okay. The Persistence of Marjorie, which
I don't
is
know what
The
painting
Persistence of Memory.
by Salvador Dali.
Right.
Oh, that's stupid.
Whistler's father,
Is that the
Whistler's
Melvin
mother.
Clocks one?
Mona Barta,
Mona Lisa.
American Clodhick,
American Gothic.
munches the dough.
Munches the Scream.
Dan Brio says munches annoyed grunt.
I'm gonna stick.
They
with,
don't say annoyed grunt anymore, by the way, in the episode titles. They usually put dough.
That was a
Oh
munch.
really? I'm gonna stick with my guns, and I'm gonna say Mona Barta is the real episode.
I missed everybody else's comments. I haven't been looking.
Yeah, we don't care about your comments. Sorry,
I
guys.
care because
Nah,
there's
we
only like
don't.
6 of them.
I'm going to go with
there's
American
12,000.
Clodhick.
I could see
it
American.
would be a
Gothic.
Cletus
Go with,
episode.
I'm
probably.
staying with Mona Barta though.
the dough.
American. You're going with munches the dough. Fisher Michaels is calling the rest of his fellow listeners dumb idiots.
He's right.
The correct answer was Whistler's father.
Fuck! None of us got it.
This one's an easy one. Maybe.
Just read it.
Oh, shit.
The vapor chase.
Okay.
Like vape.
I get it. Like the paper chase.
The caper chase.
Oh, no.
Like
I see what you've done here.
Like a cape or a caper.
Like a cape.
The Mo rape case.
Mo rape.
As
Mo
much as I
rape,
want it
Mo
to be the
rape,
Mo
Mo
rape case, I'm going to say the vapor chase.
Things are tolerated in this
Yeah, I'll
house.
go with A.
What did you, Dan Brio and Nick say A. What do you say?
I said A as well.
Dan says A. McGregor says A. Anthony says C. The Mo rape case. That's not the Mo rape
Fisher
case.
Michaels also said Mo rape case.
The correct answer is the caper chase.
Ah, fuck!
Jeff wins again.
I think Jeff's in the lead for sure.
All right, last one besides the super easy bonus.
Okay.
I was late on that one, but no one asked me.
The old blue mare, she ain't what she used to be.
Okay.
The old blue hair,
Shit, what it used to be.
she constrains with the used hoodie.
She constrains with the used hoodie. Okay. I can't wait to hear option C and D through E if they're available.
There's 4.
Oh boy, I can't wait.
Somebody wants to know the plot of that one.
Keep them coming.
I can't tell you the plot until we know which
Until
one's the
after
real
we know
one.
which one's real, right?
I think that.
The old hay fair, she ain't wheat. She's now she's now soybeans.
I didn't hear what you said.
The old. Sorry, can you repeat that one, Jack?
The old hay fair, she ain't wheat. She's now soybeans.
Brilliant.
That could be the real one.
I want to know that plot. I don't think that's the real one. I'm going to discount number C right now.
That could be the real one. It makes sense. There's an internal
I
logic
would
to
love to hear what that plot is, though.
it. It's a fair of hay.
It's a hay fair.
Usually,
She
it's
ain't-
wheat.
It ain't hay. It's soybeans.
Most hay is wheat, but it's a Lisa's a vegan episode.
Okay, and letter C or letter D.
It's a great soybean stack ride.
The old gay pair, they paint smut calligraphy.
They paint smut calligraphy.
I would really love to see some smut calligraphy.
I think I like one fish, Apu fish, Ned fish, Disco Stew fish.
That's what Fisher Michael says. All right, one more time.
Yeah, please
Good
give
luck.
us again.
Good luck.
The old blue mare, she ain't what she used to be.
Okay.
The old blue hair, she constrains with the used hoodie.
I'm going that one.
What used hoodie?
It's Trayvon Martin.
Oh God.
The old hay fair, she ain't wheat, she's now soybeans.
She sure is.
The old gay pair, they paint smut calligraphy.
Jack, I have to go with A. I'm sorry. I have to go with A.
Jeff,
Yes, it's A.
boys, girls, McGregor says A, Nick says
I'm
what?
going B.
The old blue hair, she constrains with the used hoodie. McGregor's going out on a limb. He's saying it's the old blue mayor. She ain't what she used to be. Nobody is one last chance. Nobody's saying the old hay fair. She ain't wheat. She's now soybeans.
Nope, we're not.
Or the old gay pair. They paint smut calligraphy.
Nope, we're not agreeing to that one.
By the way, the original draft of that was the old gay pair. What was it? It was the old gay pair. Their butts are on graffiti or something like that.
Oh boy.
Anyway, it's the old blue mayor. She ain't what she used to be.
Ah, right.
I'm falling behind here.
I got 3 now. I think Jeff also has
That's
like
pretty
4.
much it. I have a bonus. It's super obvious, which is the real one.
All
this is
right,
from
let's
season
do it.
29.
Okay.
Give it to us.
Okay, let's do it.
It's really obvious, which is the real one.
Sure.
Number 1, Treehouse of Horror 28. Homer the Trump.
Oh boy.
Bart gets an F in his B.
What is exactly the F that Bart's getting in his B?
Which B?
Marge Simpson in Here's My Naked Fake Body, You Weird Sad Perverts.
Okay. D has happened. So I don't know, but I
So
guess
again, the real the one of these are real from season 29. Treehouse of Horror 28. Homer the Trump. Bart gets an F. ... in his B. Marge Simpson in Here's My Naked Fake Body, You Sad Weird Perverts.
As much as I want to say C or D, I think I'm going to say A, and I'm yawning. Sorry.
Was that the Treehouse of Horror?
That's Treehouse of Horror 28. Yeah,
28?
I think that's a safe bet for season 29.
Is it B?
It's A.
There you go. I think
But
I
there's
win.
only- there's
Did I
27.
win?
Jeff won, I think. I don't know.
No, Jeff can't win. He's not a
I
host.
mean, nobody was keeping score, so.
I think Gregor won.
I'm sorry to say, I'm out. I ran out.
All right. Well, that was fun. Thank you, Jack, for that. It's a fun
very
little game
long-winded.
that we play once every year on New Year's
It gets
Eve.
harder every year because you see all the episodes.
It's tough. That was good. That was very clever to do future episodes. So that was good.
Might steal the idea next year.
Guys, if you're listening to this and for some reason you're like, I would like more from these assholes, go to weepodcast.com. That's weepodcast.com. While you're there, you can get 90s percentile episodes. That's our other podcast talking about 90s
It's
topics.
basically this, but for an hour without
It's this
all the Simpsons talk
for
taken
1
out.
hour without The Simpsons. You can get more episodes of Worst Episode Ever, obviously, and you can also get our Sync Points movie commentary series. We recently did one for Air Force One. We did one for the failed pilot Puchinsky. All of it's very, very good. You should check it out. You can get that on wepodcast.com. And if you want to support the show, you can click our Amazon links, or fuck it, you don't want to click any links, you just want to go right to Amazon. All you got to do is go to amazon.wepodcast.com. It'll take you right to Amazon. We'll get a cut of what you buy, and that'll help keep the show free.
Yeah, and another great way, obviously, you can leave us a review. If you've already done that, huge way, word of mouth. Drop links to
Tell people.
Tell people We Podcast.
Let them know.
There's so many goddamn fucking clickbait articles about The Simpsons and about how The Simpsons isn't funny anymore. That's the perfect time to comment with a link to us. Somebody, I don't know who's out there, but they commented on some AV Club article recently.
Sure.
Where they said, hey, there's a good podcast about the worst episode ever. We loved it. It was it brought us a few hits. Do stuff like that. That's great.
That helps us out a lot. And if you are in the New York, Brooklyn area.
Sorry. Thank you to everybody who bought. We said this at the top of the show, but thank you to everybody who bought on Amazon.
If you bought stuff on Amazon, thank you so much.
Huge,
We did a lot this year. We did a lot of business through Amazon. It was great. Definitely keep the show free. We love that. And if you are in the New York, Brooklyn area and you want to see us, we will be at Simpsons Woohoo Classic Simpsons Trivia this coming Thursday, the 6th? The 5th? Whatever it is. The first Thursday of January. We'll be at the King's Beer Hall for Woohoo Classic Simpsons Trivia. I host that with friend of the show, Dan Ozzie. Jack will be there, and it should be a lot of fun. Check that out. You can Google Woohoo's Classic Simpsons Trivia for more information about that.
I'll tell you about the plots of the episodes that will never be, like
That's
the
right.
old Hay Fair.
Like Mel's Fair and Bonehair War or whatever it was.
I think that was exactly it.
I think that might have been it.
Thank you to our guests.
Thanks to our guests. We got Jeff, we got Nick, both of you guys. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
As always.
No comment from Nick, but that's fine. we love having you, Nick.
Say I was glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
You don't have to.
Well, you did give me beer.
We did give you beer. That's true.
Yeah, that was nice.
Guys, thanks for our Periscope listeners who stuck through. I know it's really late. I know it's a Friday night. I know some of you guys are in insane time zones.
Yeah, and thank you so much. 2016, fantastic year for the podcast, for us in general.
And
for
everybody else,
Studios.
just a terrible year.
For everyone else, awful year. For Carrie Fisher,
Trump,
not
for
great.
Trump and We Studios, great year.
For Trump, it's a great year.
It was great.
Everyone
It was the
says
greatest
so.
year.
It's an
Everyone says
excellent
so.
year.
It's huge.
It was a huge year. We're going to go after China.
Maybe
We're going to
Fisher.
get them.
I'm all for that.
Jeff.
I think we should let.
You're a delight.
I think we should let our worst episode ever Simpsons podcast expert Nick Noga end the show.
I think you're right. With our traditional ending to the show.
Nick, you know how we end every
You
episode.
know how we end every episode, Nick. Come on, let us know.
How do we do it?
How do we do
What's
it?
our catchcatchphrase?
I don't know.
Well, guess.
What is
Dick.
it?
You
Guess.
know. I know you know.
Simpsons. Cut it out.
There you go. That'll work.
From
That's
Full
fine.
House.
Cut it out
Dave
from Full House.
Our
Is he gay?
That's our.
That's it. Is he gay?
Is
That's
he
how we end the
gay?
show.
And thanks to our Periscope listeners, they know what it is.
Cut in the hat.
For those at home, it is not Simpsons or is he gay?
Cut all this.
do believe that man is having a meltdown.